Hey, how you doing, Ray? Obviously, Saturday evening for you guys. Sunday morning here. Slept in. Nice day. Hey, uh, there might be a few girls turn up later, Mr. TT. Hard to explain that video you shot. Um, really does need to be freeze framed and that picture doctored so you can get a good look at it. Sunday morning. I tried to watch Go-Go Hopping last night. He actually was put a live stream on of Hey Ed of the Muay Thai fights, but his connection wasn't all that good, and I just kept getting the ring of death. It's a bit of a shame. Hope you're doing well, Ed. Yeah, no worries, mate. Throwing it in there now. What a it's a little overcast today, but warm. Still reasonably nice. I said I slept in a little bit, got up, showered, went and got a coffee, caught up with a friend of mine, him and his wife, which is a little bit awkward because it she actually works uh, at the Adelaide University, and not enough to see what it is, Mr. TT. And yeah, she's trying to set me up. How you doing, Ed? Can't hear Ed at the moment. Trying to set me up with a young lady she met from who's a full-time university student. 12-hour brownout, Jesus. Mm. Yeah, this girl, she's trying to. No, I can't hear you, Ed. Trying to set me up with this young lady. She's 36. Um, actually African. Very attractive young lady. Just a little bit awkward for me at the moment. And nothing worse than being set up by friends. Still can't hear you, Ed. You got the cable plugged into the wrong right hole there. Yeah, Mr. TT, the image is not clear enough to actually tell what it is. Which is, but then I'm only at my on the old laptop at the moment. Maybe if I got the new laptop out, uh, might have more luck. If Gunner and Junior here, they're going to give me shit about that. I'm not setting up the new laptop yet. Yeah, it was fast. Mr. TT, definitely fast. Oh no, Ray, it's just that because I'm talking to someone else at the moment. Yeah, you needed really needed high speed camera to catch that thing. Definitely some interesting footage though. So I hope you guys have had a good weekend or having a good weekend. Mine was reasonably quiet. Um, Pretty well just watched a movie last night or a couple of movies and crashed out. I don't often watch TV, but if there's a movie on, I'll watch it. I'm pretty well sick of all the other shit that's on TV at the moment. Really looking forward to get my own place so I can go out and buy a nice, decent TV. Yeah, but then the cost, you got to look at whether the cost is worth it, Mr. TT. Hey, Steve, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Nice, lazy Sunday afternoon here. Well, it's not even actually afternoon yet. It's only 11:15 a.m. But it's still a nice day in Adelaide. It's always nice to get out there in the mornings and when I go get my coffee, watching the girls running around, snow and ice. Oh yuck! Hey, how you doing, Andy? Always nice getting out there in the morning and watching the girls run around in short shorts and short skirts. Hope you're doing well, Andy. Actually caught up with JW yesterday on his live stream. Andy, you'll get it worked out one day, mate. Hell, I got it working and I'm no computer expert. Yeah, I understand that, Andy. Yeah, I think probably all the guys in here at some stage know have had that feeling of just needing to talk. Something that something for a long time that guys used to just you know sort of hold things in a little bit more free these days to be able to talk. And do you follow YouTuber Quentin TV? Yeah, I do. I've talked to Quentin before. I like Quentin. Yeah, I know, Andy. Sometimes you do, mate. I've been there myself. Oh, goodness. I tell you what, man, wearing black clothes, got black shorts on at the moment, and when you got a dog with white hair, it's a pain. And you just need to relax, mate. And no, don't be sorry. I've been there, mate. Um, it can be stressed. Calling Larry. Where is Larry? What happened to Ed? He jumped off again. Wascally Wabbit. What you need to do, Andy, is sort your affairs out at home there, mate, and get back over to the Philippines. You know, you need to get over there with your family. That's that's the only thing I can tell you, mate. It's not it's not good being alone. Uh, I don't think there's anything that will help you as much as being there with the wife and the daughter. My son, I haven't seen him bloody shit week and a half. The little bugger. I feel like kicking his butt. Yeah, it does, Andy. And until you suffer it, people don't understand what you go through. But you can pull yourself out of it. It's not easy. Yeah, mate. I mean, that's what we all try to do. Try to always give our families the best. Sort of backfired on me a little bit, but shit happens. So when you got family, mate, you know, keep them close and don't take them for granted. If you need to, actually, Andy, you want to get your mind off of things. Mr. TT there, Titastic. I'm hoping he's uploaded them onto his channel, but he had a drone up in the air and he caught some video. Yeah, it is too short. Way too short, Andy. Uh, but Mr. Titastic's caught some footage from his drone of something that's really hard to explain, mate. You might want to jump on his channel there and have a look and give us your thoughts. Um, in one of the clips that he's taken, he's worked out that he was taking footage at 30 frames per second, and whatever he caught in the footage of one of the films that he made, this object is moving at about 2,000 miles an hour. Hey, how you doing, Amani? Um, he took some really crazy footage from his drone, caught some weird things on there. Well, Andy, it's good to see you've still got your sense of humour. But I can assure you, and Mr. Titastic will assure you, no, it's not some chick. Uh, uh, it's good that you still got your sense of humour, mate. Yeah, I seen JW yesterday did a live stream. I jumped on there and said hello to him, and love you too, Andy. um, yeah, it was good to hear JW's voice. I haven't been on one of his streams for a little while. Never seemed to catch him, so it was good to hear him. It seems that a particular guy known as the chair was the subject of a lot of it. And trust me, mate, I was these last 3 years, mate. I've been dumped to the ground, kicked while I was on the ground. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know, and that's what you got to remember, mate. And that's the thing I always had in the back of my mind was that I've got a son. You know, sort of had to be strong for him. You need to remember that you got a lovely daughter. You need to be strong for her. She needs a daddy. Mm. Bloody, kids are amazing, mate. A friend of mine told me this is before I had children. He said when they're babies, they break your arms. Is there, and then when they get older, they break your hearts. And by breaking your arms, he means you're carrying them everywhere. And but it was so true. Yeah, I like JW. Him and Eric, I don't have any issues with them at all, Andy. They're good guys. I know a lot of people don't like them, but that's their issue. That's not mine. I don't let other people pick my friends for me, Andy. And it's fine for people to have their own opinion. So the other guys are still there, just lurking in the background. Steve, you seen the video that Mr. Tytastic put up, didn't you, of the footage from his drone? If you did, what did you think? I'd be curious to see what you guys thought of that footage. I mean, it was very interesting. It's definitely like to see something like that on a high-speed camera and slowed right down. And yeah, definitely in the last one he showed me too fast to be a bird. Yeah, I don't know either, Steve. I know that there's the peregrine falcon can dive at about 200 miles an hour, but what we were seeing was something that was traveling horizontally, then going back up again. Australia's not a bad place to run off to, Andy. Yeah, that's true, Steve. It was. Um, and 96 wasn't a bad year. 97, my son was born. Which gives away my age a little bit. Not that I've ever hidden that. Gunner will tell you I'm an old bastard. Junior will tell you that I'm old. I prefer to think of it as just acquiring wisdom, which I'm probably still lacking even at my age. Oh, we got 3 thumbs down. Thank you, people. It's nice to know we got the trolls out there. Uh, if you're listening, guys, you trolls, feel free to jump in and give us your opinion. You need to put it up there, Mr. TT. Hey, how you doing, DR? Thanks, mate. It's all good. I just don't, if they're going to put a thumbs down, come on in and at least have a chat as well. Yeah. I think I'm pretty fair to everybody. I give everyone let everyone have an opinion here. Um, you know, I repeat it for any of the new guys here. The only things I don't want to see is no racism. Uh, okay, Steve, good on you. I don't want to see no racism here. I don't want to see people attack people in a nasty way. Bust their balls. That's fine, but don't get nasty. Don't mention their families, their wives, and their kids or girlfriends. That's all bullshit. And man up. That stuff's not going to be tolerated here. Other than that, if your opinion differs to mine or anyone else's, that's fine. Hey, Jedi, how you doing, mate? Redneck racing. Jesus. Yeah, I've never really been able to get into that oval racing. Um, I've played a few racing games and have done it, and it's all right. And I'll watch it here and there, but unfortunately, yeah, the oval racing just doesn't do it for me. I'm a Formula One person. I love my Formula One. I like the Australian V8 supercars, um, but definitely Formula One is the racing that I enjoy watching the most. Yeah, I'm good Jedi, pretty good. Looking forward to a year of Daniel Ricciardo racing in the Renault. Uh, no one's going to do that, Andy. You got to remember, most of the shit and the threats that people make on here are just bullshit. You know, they're just trying to push buttons. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, unbelievable. Jackie Stewart was a character and a half. Um, I mean, a bit like Sir Jack Brabham. We will never see another Sir Jack Brabham who will actually, we'll never see another driver who builds his own car, races his own car, and then wins a Grand Prix in it. There's definitely some legends in the sport. I was just saying earlier, Jed, I got had coffee with some friends this morning, and got my mate's wife trying to set me up with a uni student. It's like, oh my god, I'm really wary and of those type of setups. Hey, Roger Miller, how you doing? 4 nights in the province, no internet. Oh shit. So you kept your place near the city then, Roger. So you got the two places running now. The one in the province with your girlfriend and the one closer to the city. It get expensive for you trying to keep both places going. Well, at least fruit's good for you, Roger. I went and bought myself, what do I get? Nectarines and some peaches. David Tour. Yeah, he was a big boy, solid boy, mate. Yeah, same as Steve. Jackie Stewart he's a legend. Okay, Roger. David Tour, that's who you'd be talking about, Jedi. The New Zealander lad. He was a monster. Could take a hit too. We went on about boxing not long ago, and although there'll always be Muhammad Ali, who'll be known as the greatest of all time. Man, there's some guys that are so close to. I mean, you look at Rocky Marciano's 49 and 0 record. Although you could argue that he didn't have the competition back then. Yeah, Jedi. Yeah, he could take it, mate. Take a lot of punishment. Roy Jones Jr. to me will probably be the pound for pound, along with Sugar Ray Robinson as probably well very close to being greatest of all time. I mean, there's so many of them. Even the first Black African American, what's his name, Jack Johnson. I mean, that guy too was an amazing fighter. Yeah, it would. Jedi. I think Tyson would have him though, on ability. Like people, look at Tyson and think, how he used to maul opponents, but he still had a lot of skills. Yeah, no worries, Ed. But yeah, I don't want to take nothing away from David Tua. Yeah, look, DR. There's so many. There really is. I mean, Joe Lewis and yeah, Jack Johnson. He just wasn't ahead of his time, mate. The guy, he had a toughness that was beat into him, and he had skills unlike anyone else back in the day. I mean, the Americans didn't want him to fight for a world championship at all. In fact, he won the world heavyweight championship in Australia because that's the only place they would let him fight. No worries, Andy.
Am I on now?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate, and everything else.
I swear to God, I don't know what's going on. I can hear myself. Like even if I'm not in the room, I can hear myself talking. Something wrong with my mic.
Yeah, it's all good here. I don't hear no echo or nothing.
Yeah, it might be in my system. I don't know. But
Mate,
how's it going, Roger?
yeah, Tyson Jedi. People don't because he was so brutal in his fights. People don't realize that Mike Tyson had great boxing skills. If you let Tyson get on the inside of you were going to get messed up every day.
Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Yeah, Andy, I think Ed can see you.
No, I can see his name. I can't see him.
Now we got the problem. We got the Pennsylvania boys in here.
Watch out.
But like Lefty said, Jack Johnson, man, what a fighter! If you guys there's a really good documentary on YouTube. It's called Unforgivable Blackness. Check it out. Yeah, that's true, Jedi. And I've seen him talk about that. But I think there was a lot more issues going on. We tend to forget we had a 20-year-old boy, and he was a boy at 20 years old, that was suddenly the world champion of the world, heavyweight world champion. Hey, David, how you doing? Foreman was scary, man. George Foreman was probably one of the hardest hitters back in that 70s period, and just unbelievable strength of the guy. I tell you, Norton.
George Foreman is from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He's from
19.
PA.
He might have been 9. I thought he was 20 when he actually won his first world title, Jedi. I just watched a documentary the other day, and I watched him on Joe Rogan. I thought he was 20 when he actually won. Ernie Shaver's big hitter. what a big hitter, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ernie was the guy that rocked Ali in a match, in one of the fights. He could really hit too. But, the staring, yeah, Larry Holmes was one of my favorites, Andy. Um, I was watching this documentary, and George Foreman was talking about the day he met up in the ring with Norton, and he said Norton was like carved out of stone. He had this perfect physique, and he was huge, and he was just so ripped and cut. He said that's when he started the staring at the opponent, because he didn't want Norton to see his legs shaking. Oh, Larry Holmes was, his jab is legendary, mate. Larry Holmes, and I think one of the most poignant times in boxing for me was when Holmes fought Ali, and then at one of the rounds when he just was giving it to Ali, he stopped. He did not want to hit him no more, because that was his, Ali was his hero, and he just didn't want to hit him anymore, and end up the ref stopped the fight. I thought that was one of the most poignant moments for me. And he had a great reign, Larry. How you doing, sister? Did we lose Ed again? No, Ed's still there. We just can't hear him. Yeah, it was sad in one way to see, the end of Ali's career. But I
Hello,
said,
hello, 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 hello.
yeah, yeah, I can hear you, buddy. But it was,
Dang it.
yeah, I can hear you.
Hello,
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 hello, hello,
hello, hello.
hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
For some reason, I can hear myself, and it shouldn't be.
Um, I'm not sure why. You've obviously got YouTube turned. You got
YouTube
YouTube.
turned off.
Yeah, I know, because I can't hear you. How you doing, Slow Ride?
Something's going on here. I disabled my mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, look, yeah, that period was it late '80s, mid to late '80s when Tyson hit the stage. Um, hey, Larry, how you doing? I just wish back in the day that Tyson had some more, a little bit more better quality opponents. I think the heavyweights in the '70s, um, they had the hardest time. I never knew that, Dr. I think the '70s was when you had the most quality heavyweights around at any one time. I think the '80s, apart from the Tyson, that '80s was starting to become the era of the middleweights. The Haglers, the Hearns, those sort of fighters. Yeah, well, he didn't get that far, did he, Slow Ride? There's definitely some great heavyweights during that '70s period. The '80s really was more uh, starting the period of the middleweights. Oh, look, Andy, there was so many great fights. I mean, if you guys watched the round one fight, hey, Crystal, the round one of the Hagler Hearns fight. I mean, yes, exactly, Andy. Hagler Hearns, round one. Watch that fight. People to this day will still call that as the greatest round of boxing in history. Um, Sensational. Those two boys. I mean, marvelous. And the Hitman. What a great fight. I could watch that fight over and over again. No, Jedi, they haven't been the same. Let's face it, the '70s seemed to be the pinnacle of the heavyweights. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Crystal. How are you? Like I said, then the 80s came along. You had Tyson, but it really became the period of the middleweights. Yeah, both sensational fighters, Jedi, and the Hearns Hagler fight was oh man, that was fantastic. You know, that first round was that was just a beat fest. Yeah, it was the best first round of boxing ever. Just okay. Come on, Crystal, you can do better than just okay. And Mr. Tietastic, where are you? You asking about ladies? Yeah, we got one here now. We got a Cali girl. But you guys, if you get a chance, please watch Unforgivable Blackness. It's a documentary about Jack Johnson. Um, I think if you're a fight fan, every fight fan should see that documentary. Um, it's just simply brilliant. I don't know if any of you other guys have seen that actual documentary. It is on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. Just brilliant. Uh, Jedi, I know people are going to always say that you know Ali was the greatest of all time. Yeah, I remember Tommy Morrison, um, and but to me, along with Sugar Ray Robinson, Roy Jones Jr. is probably one of the greatest pound for pound fighters ever, and he could rival Ali as the greatest of all time, really, in my mind. I mean, and I'm an Ali fan. I love Ali, but Roy Jones Jr. was his speed and his strength was just, how many fighters do you see hit a guy with a body punch and put him down to the ground and win a fight on a body punch? That's Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, age got Tommy Morrison. What what I don't like about Tommy Morrison is he was fighting with it at one stage and trying to avoid all the tests, and so I can't respect that sort of guy that does that shit. He's also in a Rocky film, wasn't he? He was in it was one of the boxing movies. Might have been Rocky or something like that, I reckon. The wife is mad. Mate, you go look after your wife, Andy. But definitely, in a world dominated by the uh, uh, African Americans, he was, I guess, what some people might have called a great white hope. But you know, Rocky Five, yeah, yeah, I thought he was in one of those movies. Yep. I mean, he had some unreal boxing skills. Just threw it away though, like so many others do. It's funny, I like to see how some of these guys like Klitschko, the Russian guy, would have done back in the 70s. Yeah, well, anyone can be a good fighter on cocaine, Larry, or that PCP shit they used to have around. I mean, these days you got Deontay Wilder. He's a big hitter. Um, I really want to see him fight Joshua. I want to see the Wilder Joshua fight, but whether that'll happen, I don't know. But even though there's still big money in the boxing, no worries, Andy. Even though there's big money in boxing, it has taken a back seat to the MMA at the moment. My favourite hockey player, geez, have to, without a doubt, be number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Um, I used to have a DVD or a video of Gretzky to watch it over and over again. Yeah, but that's Jedi. That's the skill of boxing, I guess. You know, gone were the days of It's kind of funny. I watched a really good documentary. You might be interested, Jedi, on the bare knuckles fighters, and they say that these days boxers will hit um, a lot harder than the bare knuckle guys, because the bare knuckle guys tended not to hit as hard because they would end up doing damage to their own hands. And as you know, some of those fights could go on for bloody ages. Uh, I love Pac-Man, but I'm not really. I can't. I'm not a Philippines vlogger, Roger, because I've never been to the Philippines, mate. I just watch the Philippines vloggers, and we'll chat about it with the guys here that live there. Oh, yeah, it was like Joe Frazier Jedi. You know, the only thing with the Pac-Man thing is I wished he'd retired. I mean, he's still got great skills and he can fight, but we have seen the best of Manny. But he'll be a legend. Ah, cool, dear. I mean, and how can you forget fighters like Roberto Duran? Hands of stone. Andy, sort yourself out. Plan everything out and then get going, mate. Yeah, I agree, Jedi. He is. He's a great fighter. Welcome back, Mr. Tastic. Yeah, I think that's where he wants to get with his family, Larry. He needs to get back to the Philippines with his wife and his daughter. Um, I don't know, Roger. I can't call myself a Philippines vlogger, though. I mean, I don't do vlogs from the Philippines. I've never been there. I don't want to give people the wrong impression. I've heard people, trolls come in here and accuse me of pretending to be an expert on the Philippines, and I've never done that. You know, the only things I know about the Philippines is what a lot of you guys tell me, or what I ask from guys like Larry or Ed, the guys that are living over there. And to call me a Philippines vlogger is very misleading. Maybe one day I will be, Roger, but to be honest, um, if I'm in the Philippines, I'm not sure I'd want to waste my time on the internet all that much. Yeah, I'd want to enjoy my time there. Yeah, Andy is a good guy, Larry. Oh, Andy, we just all want the best for you, mate. We just want to see you back over in the PI and with your wife and your daughter, mate. That's where you need to be. Yeah, yeah, that's true, Jedi. Um, that guy would have been as good on the streets as he was in the ring. You just didn't want to meet that guy in a dark alley, mate. One hit from him would send you into the middle of next week. Yeah. Okay, Roger, you got me there. I was co-host to a Philippine vlogger. You got me there, mate. I just don't want to mislead people and uh, give these trolls more ammunition. And what makes me an expert on lazy? That's a good question, Steve. Well, actually, it's just lazy Sunday afternoon because I'm not doing a great deal. Um, and actually, if you look it up, Lazy Sunday Afternoon is the title of a Small Faces song, and I like the Small Faces. Yeah, that's you're always going to get that Jedi. You know, 'cause that's the how many fights I've watched where the decision has been given to someone, and you think like, hang on, that guy didn't win. Unfortunately, there's a lot of shit goes on in boxing between the promoters and shit like that. There you go, Andy. Larry knows exactly what you're feeling, being separated from the family, mate. I think all of us just want you to be back over there with them. That's where you need to be. Oh, Jedi, he would kill most people in a street fight. He would be a dangerous man. Just the strength of the guy. Um, yeah, they should have nicknamed him Jawbreaker, mate. He was one tough SOB. But the boxing world's full of tough guys. Look at Roberto Duran. Man, that guy could dish out punishment when he wanted to. I actually watched a movie. There was a movie made about him. I can't think what the name of it was, but I did watch it. It was interesting to see. Yeah, that's what I said, Jedi. The guy could take punishment. Well, that's what you need to do, Andy. Is jump on some of these live streams more often with guys. At least give you someone to talk to, and especially guys like Larry who've been in that position where they're being separated from their families. He knows what it's like, mate. He definitely understands what that part of your life is all about. But mate, if you get your head straight and you do the right shit, you'll end up like Larry, mate, over there with your family. Yeah, I know, Andy. There's been a lot of big hitters, Jed. I tell you, um, the thing is though, it's it's fine to be a big hitter, but you need that jaw to go with it, which is what made Tua such a monster in the ring. You could take a beating. Jesus, Roger. Uh, I hope you don't have to go and get a DNA check, mate. That'd be a worry for any expat running through that little province, mate, and seeing you run around with all the kids calling you daddy. Oh my God. They'd be looking at you going, what the hell? Jedi, he's either popular or he's been really busy. Let's hope he's just been popular. It looks like Ed's having some real issues because he jumped off again and not hasn't come back. If you want the link, Larry, let me know. If anyone else wants the link, let me know. You're all welcome on here. It's always good to chat with you guys. I'm gonna go shopping tomorrow and get myself some new beach towels. Uncle Larry. Yeah, well, that's probably a little bit better than everyone calling you Daddy, Larry. Jedi, take the O off of that and then we're talking. Been a while since we talked about long nipples. Yeah, no worries, Mr. Titastic. Not a problem. It's not a matter of having patience, Andy. We understand what you're going through, mate. You know, I'm sure most of the guys here have been through the same shit. Yeah, the nipple muncher. I wish. Uh-oh, we got the emails are coming in. Oh no, this is scary. You're going to get an image here.
What emails?
How you doing?
Good evening, all. Good evening. Or afternoon, morning.
Yeah, I got mate from the chat here, Gunner, who sends me all these weird emails. Thankfully this one is not as bad as some of the previous ones he sent me. How you been anyway, Mr. TT?
Right, I just got to work out where I mute stuff so I haven't got you twice.
And it's all your choice, mate. Simple as that, mate. You got to make those choices. Well, shit. Hey, Crystal. You swear more than the guys do, Crystal. What are we going to do with you? You're asking about the girls, Mr. TT. There we have Crystal. She's a Cali girl.
Ah, Crystal, good day.
How
are you?
I think Crystal's. I've heard rumours, Crystal, that you wear short shorts. But that was Cobra. AC Cobra was starting that rumour.
Excuse me, I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah, me too. I went out this morning for coffee and then got one to take away. I'm buggered without my coffee, mate.
I've only really gained the word affliction and addiction over the last, 8 months.
Yeah, I was probably late 20s when I took up drinking coffee. Oh, you do, Crystal. You do wear short shorts. When are you going to jump on When are you going to jump on the chat, Crystal? I've seen you on other panels. You're going to have to jump on this one so the guys can hear you.
Yeah, we've got to put a voice to a name.
Yeah, we don't need to see the short shorts, but just hear you.
Well, I don't know. Optional extras.
Oh. So when you heading back to Thailand, Mr. TT?
It's going to be April, May time,
Okay.
subject to a customer I'm chasing for money from. I need to be here in the UK just in case I need to pay them a visit.
Yeah. I want to head to the Philippines, and I want to go to Thailand and see Vietnam, maybe Cambodia, Laos, and that. No,
Right.
Andy.
Yeah, no. I've not
Andy,
been to Vietnam.
you haven't?
No, I've not been to Vietnam or the Philippines. My parents and friends have gone to Vietnam. They said it's one of the best holidays they've ever been to in their life for being 50 plus years on this planet. So yeah, I really need to get there.
Yeah, I got a mate that went over there for a holiday, and he's just walking around and met a girl in a shop there, and now they're married, living over here with 2 kids.
Oh,
And
really? Wow.
yeah, she's a smart girl, mate. Beautiful girl too. I mean, I can't get over how gorgeous she is, but smart as well. She actually put herself through school here, or he helped her, and she now owns a travel agency here in Adelaide.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
The guy who owns PattayaCentral.com, no plug intended, but he's from Australia, and I think he works offshore as well. I'm not sure. I used to use him quite a bit for the run from the airport down to Pattaya and Jomtien. His trips as well seem to be very reasonable. The package tours in particular, like island hopping and that he organises.
Yep.
He's been spot on with his service, and yeah, his fiance or wife, girlfriend, runs the show. Obviously, the rest he's not. He's out of the country, back in Australia or wherever he is in the world. Yeah, it's a travel agency that was gone from strength to strength and opened up a few places around LK Metro and that.
I don't know how they survive these days, because so many guys are just booking their own flights and doing everything off the internet these days.
Sure.
So
I think one of his biggest golden nuggets or bonuses is that he gets or he has had the package tours from China, and what they do is pay. We all hear and we've all said about, oh, they don't spend money in Thailand. Well, they actually do, but they spend it in their own country first on the package tours. That's why they're getting shipped around everywhere in groups, because they spent their money on Thailand before they got here in doing these packages. And he was over the moon with a trip he did for 24 plus of them, because of I think that would be a grand thing to do, is to get in with an agency in China that can pretty much guarantee you an ongoing supply of custom through that method. It makes it a lot easier. I don't know if that's something he is pursuing, but that's how I would go about it.
Well, I just noticed, like, over the last 12 months, and that the Chinese and the Koreans they'll be a big market for tourism.
Yeah.
You're starting to see these groups of Chinese everywhere now. I know there's lots of Koreans in the Philippines, from what I've been told. But here's a question for you, because I've seen this brought up on a couple of vlogs about Thailand's actually starting to get a bit expensive. Is that the case?
If you let's just say, I used to say to Mickey Mau, I said to him, because he used to always, it was a bit of a pain actually for him to keep doing this. This is behind the scenes, us interacting now before we're filming. But he would like to seek out to get that 10 baht cheaper on a beer before going out and things like this, right? And I said, look, if you think about it, I said, if you just have, and then the rate of exchange would have an impact. That's what obviously in the main makes things more expensive. I haven't seen prices go up in Thailand for that to be the reason why people should say it's more expensive. People are using that in a bit of a flippant manner, to be fair. And when people do that without justifying or explaining why they're saying that, or if they're not even being asked to be entertained why they would say that, it's usually because the exchange rate's not in their favour for that country that they're coming from. So I don't see Thailand pushing up prices and making it more expensive in that respect, no. It's more to do with the exchange rate not being so favourable. And like I said to Mickey Marrow, well, you just have one, if you just have one less pint a day, then it's the same rate essentially, because you're saving that amount from what you had, you know, the difference of being 2 baht on the pound or whatever it is change.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure, but it seems like maybe some of the guys that are bringing it up, maybe they're out in the tourist areas too much and buying too many lady drinks.
You know, when I guess you have to compare it to something as well. When you're saying, "Oh, it's getting too expensive now," okay, in comparison to what maybe as well, because sometimes people are making that comment based on what they're getting in the Philippines. For example, one guy posted, and I think this was on a Facebook group. I said, "Oh, that was really good. How did you manage that?" He said, "Oh, I didn't book it." Because I said, "How did you get this?" I think he had a hut, or he certainly had a room with a fan. And he was happy with it, and it was right on the beach in the Philippines, and it was $25 for the month.
Wow.
I was like, well, wow, yeah. I think he might have, I don't know if he, no, he can't. I wouldn't have thought he'd dropped to zero off of it. I said, well done, how did you go back that? He just said he turned up and was walking about and found it. So, but for $25 for the month, I'm thinking it's more of a shed maybe, I don't know, see. But then so if you've got people comparing it to what maybe it is elsewhere, and they're saying, oh, it's become too expensive now in Thailand. Maybe it's because they're basing it on that, because they're comparing it to do something cheaper elsewhere that they've had in the past, and because the rate's not that favourable in Thailand so much for them, and yet the prices have not gone up. Maybe they've even come down in Thailand, but because of the rate change, then it can appear certainly as being more expensive for sure. It's my long-winded answer. I don't give a straight yes or no.
No. That's better to get an explanation to it, because you know, sometimes you say yes or no, it doesn't really tell you a lot, you know. And I think you're probably right. It probably does depend on the exchange rate, and I guess if you're going from somewhere like the Philippines to Thailand, but the thing is with Thailand is, you know, you got a better infrastructure there. Accommodation seems to be a lot better. And I talked to a guy. Well, actually, I watched his stream. He's called the Property Club, and he did a comparison on the Philippines and Thailand, and even to the point where the utilities are a lot cheaper in Thailand. You know, your water, electricity is cheaper. Utilities in Philippines tend to be quite expensive, really.
And more reliable in Thailand as well, right?
Much more, yeah. You're always getting the brownouts over there in the Philippines. I was talking to Ed, was here earlier. He said yesterday they had the power out for 12 hours where he is.
Oh wow! I've never heard it termed as brownout before. Blackout.
Yeah. I think the difference is a blackout is where power might accidentally go out from something blowing up or whatever. A brownout is when they deliberately cut the power.
Really? Oh, okay.
Areas.
Yeah, that's what they used to do in the UK years and years ago, even in the 70s.
Yeah, so like, you know, they would share it around, and you know, different areas would lose their power for a certain amount of time. I think that's the difference between the brownout and the blackout.
All right, and I learned something tonight. You have to forgive me as well. I'm not reading any comments, so if anything's coming through, you're in my eyes.
Yeah, no worries. They're all quiet.
I'm typing away, doing editing and all sorts at the moment.
No, mate, they're just all lurking in the chat room at the moment.
They're listening to our dulcet tones.
I've never seen Crystal answer, so she's obviously not coming on the panel. She's obviously too shy. but she did admit to wearing short shorts.
Well, there we are. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, okay. This footage just uploaded it to Fantastic. Maybe I can be as.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But the last time I was watching you in your streams, and when you were over in Thailand, there, you're talking about getting married. Did that ever happen?
No.
No. Oh, that's a shame. Sorry.
When I see you next, I'll tell you why.
Oh, no worries, mate.
You would have heard about that because it was going to be live streamed by about 4 other YouTubers that were invited.
Oh, I haven't seen it. No. So.
It was. Yeah, a lot went into that.
Oh yeah.
I had half a dozen Thai YouTubers coming and beach ceremony, a lot going, and yeah, it would have been the first live streamed wedding.
I miss those live streams that you used to do in John Tim in the bars there. They were fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to kick them off again. I think I might have said in a drunken stupor the other night about trying to beat the record for doing that now, and I'm down to do 4 a day for a month, so that'll be hard going, but it's achievable, especially now that even more and more places out there I found are getting much better Wi-Fi signal. But I'll just buy a good AIS package, so I've got 4G wherever I go, so as a backup.
I used to like making Mickey blush, mate.
What did you used to do? Remind me.
Just we're always on his case about bar finding the girls and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we was ribbing him on that. It was like I don't know if it was you or somebody did. We made a video. Where was it? I think it was in Princess Bar or Sixth String Bar, which we frequented quite a bit on Soy Cow. And in fact, I did 2 or 3 videos of this lovely lady because she was very expressionate in her facial expressions and amazing. It was clearly she couldn't hide her emotions and she didn't care less anyway, but she was very expressionate in there. And she was quite visibly upset that she wasn't being bar-fined as we were leaving, and she could see that happening, and her expression was changing. And oh God, I felt really sorry for her. I actually went back there to see her, and she'd left and sold it to her sister. and yeah, we did several of these. And somebody sent 10 or 20 bucks across on PayPal and said, "Here, this is for that was it. Forgive me, I'm just trying to think." What she was talking about was saying she was joking with Mickey Mouse, saying, "Oh, if you've got a jacuzzi in your room, I'll definitely come with you." So she was looking like for perks, but as a result of being essentially bar-fined by here. And someone sent across 10 or 20 bucks on PayPal and said, "Oh, this is for Mickey's jacuzzi fund." I told him afterwards, and then he started laughing to himself. That was an afternoon jaunt as well. That.
We just got a comment here. Mark, just pop back in. Thailand is getting expensive compared to the Philippines. They don't speak English as much, and they're not as friendly in general as the Filipinos. So I heard. I've not been there. Well, from what I've seen, Jedi, and I've watched the vloggers from both. Definitely the Philippines is probably cheaper, but then the quality of everything's better in Thailand. Yeah, they don't speak English as well as they do in the Philippines. That's a given for sure. As for being friendly, I think it really does depend.
Well, yeah, that's a hard one, that one.
Yeah, it is a hard one. I mean, I've seen, Simon from Land of Smiles.
Absolutely, cool.
Yeah. Well, the little town that he's living in, I mean, he seems to, they all seem very friendly and all get along really well. I guess, Jedi, it depends really on what you're there for and what area part of the. I mean, the tourist areas obviously are so much different. You know, they are very cutthroat and money orientated in those areas like Pattaya and Phuket. That's just a given. But if you get out to the villages and that, it's going to be a lot different experience for you. And I hear that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I've been travelling since I was 4, and I've been going, living, working, and visiting Thailand for 21 years, and I haven't found a better place yet where they've been. Well, it's not called the land of smiles, but I mean, they're not just smiling because they're after your money in some respects, but they are. It's a wonderful nation. Yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what I have seen, and I've heard people talk about this, is that and I don't know what these girls are like, the Thai girls are like when you're alone with them, but I know they're not big on that public affection. You know, they don't.
Oh, no, they're not. They're very conservative that way, correct.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas I think the Filipinas are a little bit more into, you know, wanting to hold your hand and be sort of cuddly with you, where the Thais are not so much into showing public affection. They're a little bit more coy.
And holding at most. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that, you know, and unless you're actually had in a relationship with a Thai girl, you really don't probably.
No, you don't see like even if there was a party of youngsters from college, school, or whatever on the beach, and they're all getting, you know, bang-songed out, you won't even see them like snogging as you would on the beach in Bondi or something like that. You won't see nothing like that.
But that's a cultural thing, I think.
Yeah.
I have heard that the Filipinos are a little bit more affectionate. But see, Jedi, the problem for me is that a lot of the vloggers that I see are in those tourist areas, and you know, those girls are there to make money. So, you know, they have a far different attitude to those people who are living out in the villages with the normal everyday Thai people, which is, you know, a total different scenario. You know, if you head out of those areas, yeah. But yeah, from what I have seen, that the Filipinos generally do have a much better English grasp of English. They're definitely probably more affectionate in public than what the Thai girls are. But you know, I guess you'd have to have a relationship with both to be able to compare, and that's a pretty personal and private thing anyway. You know, a lot of guys don't want you to delve into that. Yeah, that's right, Jedi. Exactly. Angeles City and Manila, you know, I hear that all the time, that a lot of people don't like those places. And I mean, that'd be the equivalent of Pattaya and, you know, Nana Plaza and Phuket. You know, you're definitely going to meet a different quality of people in those places. That just goes without saying, you know. Yeah, and you learn that pretty quickly because the guys doing the vlogs will usually tell you that, you know. I mean, I've watched the guys that were in Pattaya and places like that, or Nana Plaza doing their. I mean, I used to watch Mr. TT. He'd do his from Jontium, and I can't really tell you where Jontium's like. Is that near Pattaya or something like that, Mr. TT?
Yeah, excuse me, 15-20 minutes on the BART bus. That's also comes under Pattaya, really, but it's certainly its own town in its own right.
But from what I've seen of your vlogs in that place, it was a lot quieter than Pattaya. It wasn't as crazy.
Oh yeah, it's very much more of in comparison to Pattaya, it's more of a retirement village. In comparison. Yeah.
I mean, it still had all the bar life and.
Yeah, and it's there. If you want the craziness, like it's got one go-go bar, it's got, you know, it's got its own ladyboy gay area. It's got its own gay beach. It's got you know, little snippets of. I feel as if every time I go back to Chomtown, I feel more of a homecoming feeling. I feel very comfortable there, and that's maybe to fit with more of my persona as well. I don't know, but if I'm going over, let's say I'm going over there for 2 months, I would probably need to spend no more than a week, 2 maximum at Pattaya City, because John Tim's is down the road from there anyway, and it's 10 baht to get up there, like. But the craziness of Pattaya, it's just on your doorstep if you want it.
Yeah, I think too. When you say like with John Tim, you probably know the area so well that's why you feel so comfortable there.
It doesn't really bother me whether or not I know the area or not. It's the feeling I get from and the vibe, the atmosphere, the not so much in your face. They're I think the main things that make me feel more comfortable there. The beaches better, the water's better. The people are not so, and I won't say it, I don't mean it negatively, but they're not as aggressive in terms of getting your business as they are in Pattaya City, which is of course a lot more. There's a lot more competition. The feeling is more surrounded about it not being a city. I've never been a lover of cities. Full stop. I've lived 40 minutes away from the city of London, and you can imagine how much and wonderful the nightlife can be there. And I've never really ventured up there.
Yeah, well,
cities don't attract me at all, especially with the pollution even in Pattaya that you can get.
Well, you're going to get that whether you're in the Philippines or Thailand, definitely. One of the things that I sort of took me a little bit by surprise was when people were talking about Phuket and they say go to Pattaya because Phuket's more expensive. I'm kind of surprised that there would be a price difference. I thought everything would be around about the same.
Yeah, I've not really investigated it that well. I've never been to Phuket, but in general, people have said, it's between 30 and 50% more. Now, it may be because of the beaches and the water being a lot better, even though recently somebody said that's declined. But the attraction of that is very much there. And my investigation, as far as I can say on it, is that, I've gone on to, because I'm like a partner with Agoda, so I've gone through my links that I offer others to go to Phuket, and I've investigated a few places to stay, and I was really surprised how cheap I could have stayed in Phuket had I gone there on these chosen dates for as little as $6 a night.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And I thought, no, there's something wrong there, surely not. And no, I stuck it into sort order, so it was in price ascending order, ascending order, and sure enough, it was $6 a night. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe it is affordable. Because obviously, whatever you're saving on your accommodation, you can afford to spend it on food and drink if it is more expensive for that out there down in Phuket. So it warrants to be investigated on the ground, and that's something I certainly would be planning to do at some point.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I see plenty of guys vlogging from Bangkok and then Nana Plaza or Pattaya, but I don't see too many actually doing Phuket.
No, that's true. That's true. Very true. Yeah, you might get somebody visiting, like the Kev or the whoever has come down there and been there for a night or two. Yeah, it's so true. I must try and remember who. There's a regular YouTuber down in Krabi. That's a lovely, lovely area of Thailand, Krabi.
Ah, that's not the snake guy, is it?
It might be. I can't remember now.
He,
I enjoyed the footage and the way he produced some of these videos, and I thought, I've got to remind myself to check their channel out again. But yeah, I really like the feel and the scenery down in Krabi.
Yeah, I used to watch this guy. He lived in Krabi, and he was the guy they used to call up when they had a issue with snakes, and he would come and grab them. And that's the only thing that worried me about Krabi is the amount of cobras down there.
All right.
But you're going to get that, I guess, anywhere you go. I mean, I can't talk living in Australia for snakes, but
No.
but we don't see them in the suburbs all that often. So,
Yeah, sure.
but
Put your snake guards on it when you go out into the jungle. Take a guide with you.
oh mate, I'd be walking on stilts.
There was some footage. It was awesome. I'm not sure what type of snake it was. It was at least 6 foot, and there's a couple of motorbikes going along this street, this countryside road, and you may have
Yes.
seen it where one of the guy on the second motorbike is filming, and it actually reaches up to try and attack the
Yes.
passing motorbike.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That
It's like, get off, this is my street.
that's pretty ugly, actually. I have seen that that clip, and that was like, oh god.
Saw a couple of things like that in when I was working in Koh Samui back in the day, and we went up in the mountains on the motorbike that we hired for a couple of days, and we saw a few things scuttling off into the hedgerow. But the worst thing was we knew we had something living in our loft. We were renting this little bungalow, and we used to hear it at night scuttling around, and it was a huge lizard. We never did see that, but I did catch something that ran across my face one night, and that was a spider that would go as fast as a bleeding mouse. It's so quick. But I managed to catch it. In the days following, but it woke me up by running across my face at night. Yeah.
Oh god.
And our neighbour, who was working in the dive shop as well, he because the plug holes are just like open holes, he had a snake come up and was in his bath one morning when he went there.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to have to find some. Yeah, I got my coffee crystal. I'm going to have to stay at the 5-star places, I think, because I don't want to come across any snakes. Jesus.
You're saying about the accommodation over there. You're quite right with Thailand. I have found that with Thailand you can actually add a star to the quality that they give you for the star that they're advertising. I've never been to a country where you can actually add a star because of the value you get.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed too is when I'm watching guys do the Philippines and the Thailand vlogs, one of the big differences is that you go to some of these nice places in the Philippines, they still got those old box style air cons, where in Thailand it's all split systems, modern air cons.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest differences. Thailand's definitely more modern. Like I said, the infrastructure is 100 times better. I think you can always find the negatives, but compared to some of the Southeast Asian countries, it's fairly clean. Say compared to the Philippines and that, definitely.
Go on, sorry.
No, for me, I just need to try all of them, because they're all so close together. If I go over there, I might as well fly from, say, from the Philippines to Thailand to Cambodia, Vietnam, and see all the places while I'm in that area.
I saw that the flights, I was going to call them internal flights, but you're going obviously internal, it's overland, and but yeah, it was as little as £55, I think, just to get from, I think it was Air Asia, either leaving Utah Airport or Bangkok, I forget now, but it was to Phnom Penh in Cambodia for return, £55. I was like, wow, come on, Mickey Mouse, let's do a couple of days over there.
You should. I mean, it's crazy because all those countries are so close to each other.
He's at the age as well, though, where he's like gets comfortable in a place and he wants to stick to it. He definitely won't go travelling once we're in Thailand. Now he's already said that he's done his travelling days. He just wants to stay put, maybe. Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, to each his own.
He's 76 this year.
Oh shit! Yeah. Well, he's still. Hey, how you doing, Big Kevin? I just think for myself anyway to go to Southeast Asia now. I'd be crazy not to just visit a couple of countries while I'm there. You know,
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
and
that'd be good.
and let's face it, you know, every country has something to offer. I mean,
Yeah,
for Thailand, I mean, every country's got their culture, but with Thailand, you got the food, you know, and their cuisine is, you know, probably, you know, one of the top. You know, you can't get much better food than what Thailand have to offer. You know, their food is high on the list of cuisines around the world. The Philippines, it seems to be the people themselves. That they see. That's one of the things I said the other day. Actually, they call Thailand the land of smiles, but I tell you what, Philippines could earn that title as well because
yeah, yeah.
they seem to be very friendly people in the Philippines.
That's good. No, I need to visit there. And I was going to say, who's it that you follow religiously, if it's on a regular basis on their videos, if it's YouTube or whatever platform? The Philippines.
From the Philippines. Oh, okay. Geez, there's probably Sentai 7 is one. Um, let's see. See, a lot of the guys I follow, like Larry from in here, ex-prepper, but Larry's different again because he just vlogs from his own little farm that he's got in Negros. He lives in the mountains there with his family, and he's got a farm going.
All right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I enjoy that. But who's a good Philippines vlogger to watch? God, there's quite a few of them, and there's so many drama channels as well you want to stay away from. Oh, geez, you know, that is a really good question because now you got me thinking. Hang on, I'm going to go to my list because I do watch so many, and I don't get to see all of them all the time.
Oh, I've got to send you a link or something I found talking about drama. It's not drama, but it's associated with it. It might make you giggle. I found it on Quinton's channel. That's why I was asking you earlier. Someone's put on there. Find it. I nearly feed myself.
Let's have a look here.
That coffee's got to me now.
Let's have a look here. I'm going through so many.
Yeah. I was just wondered if there was anybody that stuck in your mind that you learned more from, maybe.
Well, I tend
drill
to
down a bit.
I tend to jump. See, what I found with the Thai vloggers, they tend to concentrate around the tourist areas, except for say Simon and Chuck from No Time to Be Sad. And I've got all the time in the world for Chuck and Paige. I love his channel because he's shown you what it's like living out, you know,
Yeah.
outside of the city areas. Okay, Philly in the Philippines is a good one.
Philippines, all right.
Again, he's living sort of out in Angeles City with his wife and daughter. They run a little sari store there, and he's pretty good to watch. With kind of drama free, which is what I tend to look for.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Simon and Chuck because you know they tend to keep the. Okay, here's another good one. This is one that you definitely need to watch, mate. This is right down your alley. Videolux.org. So VIDEO video LUX.org. He lives just outside of Quezon City, I think.
All right, so that's his webpage.
But he's got a YouTube channel. It's Videolux.org. Oh,
yeah, I see it. I've got it up in front of me now.
He's got a good life, mate.
As well, yeah.
He's got a beautiful girlfriend, and she's got a girlfriend, and they all live together.
All right.
So,
That's what I learned from Simon's channel a couple of weeks back or so, where you can actually have more than one wife at the same time in Thailand.
Yeah, they isn't that a gig? They call it a gig or something like that, like a
I don't know
mistress.
what the term of it for it. It's not like official, like legally, but like traditionally, you can get married to another woman. Obviously,
wow.
with it seems with the approval of your initial findings of or your initial partnership. She said, yeah, it's common. She said in some instances where maybe your wife cannot have a baby, then you will get married again to somebody who can be your child for the family.
DR is just said put in there. Overstay Road is another one.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah, is that an American chap?
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty sure he's got a wife and 2 girlfriends, I think. But the Video Lux guy, he's pretty good. He's very good at editing. He does. He shows you a bit of the nightlife. We used to watch his live streams, mate, and that was always good for a bit of entertainment value, because while he would be talking to you on the thing, his girlfriend and her girlfriend would be in the background snogging.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've subscribed to him. I'll check him out. I've got to be really brutal with who I subscribe to lately, because it's gotten stupid. 164 people plus.
Yeah.
Oh no, here we go. I'm subscribed to 342. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've gone through a couple of times and got rid of some of mine, but I just tend to want to stay away from the drama shit, you know. I just like watching the guys who, like Chuck and Simon, who are living the life, you know. Like I used to like watching your live streams, because there was no drama. It was all about having a laugh and a bit of fun, and poking
it real.
And poking Mickey and
poking Mickey, poking the girls. I not have money for since
I remember one
that
night.
would be the first thing that came out of my mouth sometimes as soon as we got to a bar. I'll tell them up front. I'm not have money for sin. So one of the first welcoming things that was given to me by a receptionist in a hotel I'd never ever been to before in my life. One of my first visits in Jomtien. As soon as I walked into reception, she said, "You might be fat, but you're handsome." Well, the receptionist, that's the reception I got. I love to get that. Speak their mind. Love them for it. It can be so taken the wrong way.
Well, they don't mind a little bit of weight on the guys over there, it seems, from what I heard. But I'll tell you someone who's lost the plot, and I mean, this guy is really Cheap Charlie. I don't know if you ever used to watch Cheap Charlie.
Cheap Charlie Chronicles Now, Paradise, something or other.
Yeah, he's changed
the channel name.
I mean, he was getting drunk and doing live streams from his bloody wardrobe.
Yeah, I did see that. I've gone on his live streams sometimes, yeah.
He seemed to, he needs to get his head straight, that boy. I mean, his channel grew.
Yeah, well, a lot of these YouTubers, and I'm not saying it's in his case, but it's an outlet for them, right? It's something for them it's their pacifier. And it doesn't discriminate in any way. YouTube, anybody can get on there and just be anything or anybody or anything they want to be. And there's certainly people on here that need help in whatever capacity or way or size of help. It does vary. There's definitely some people on there, and people use it to help themselves. So sure.
Yeah, and we got a guy in the chat. He's no longer in the Philippines, but he was there for years, mate. He lived there for years, and got a family. Big Kev, no bull. He does a lot of live streams from Kentucky these days, but they talk a lot about the Philippines and.
All right.
But he ended up. He had run businesses over there, but got ripped off, and so he knows the pitfalls. That's for sure. And and end up being attacked by his brother-in-law with a machete. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, he had to be he ended up, I think, leaving from Manila to Guam and then back to the US, and I think now he's just
That's the escape
safe.
route, was it?
Pardon?
That was the escape route.
Well, yeah, he was. I mean, the machete was to the head, so he,
Oh my
he,
God.
he took some pretty bad injuries, so had to leave for treatment. But I think he's trying to save up now to head back over there. But
Oh, really?
if you ever watch his live streams, they usually touch on the Philippines, and Big Kev's always pretty good, and he's always happy to share his experiences over there.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, great.
But yeah, he's obviously experienced the good and the bad over there.
Wow.
I don't know what it's
The
like
good, the bad, the meal most faithful. Crikey.
I don't know what it's like in Thailand at the moment, but I noticed in the Philippines that there does tend to be a few murders, and quite a few American expats actually have found themselves in trouble over there. But I guess it comes down to that: don't mess with the locals. You know, respect the fact that you're living in another country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Go on, sorry.
yeah. Big Kev just saying he's there. He has 2 daughters in the Philippines. He's just in the
Oh,
chat
really?
at the moment. So I know that he supports
They're
his
keen to
daughters.
get back. Quite right, yeah.
Yeah, what his story is, he ended up overstaying. So so now he's got to save up, and because obviously you pay a fine when you overstay, and he's got to pay that fine before he can get back over there.
You get a ban as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you overstay, I think you have to pay any fees that you
Similar to
owe
Thailand then, yeah.
before you can get back.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they let you go and then you can pay. Right, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Where in
so
Thailand, maybe you have to stay in jail until you pay.
yeah, in Thailand it's a little different too. If you leave on your own accord, and you're overstayed, then you can either, what's it, 6 months, 12-month, 5-year ban or something like that. I don't think it's the
Yeah.
same in the Philippines. I think if you pay up, then you're okay.
Yeah, I've had to stay before. I just
Um,
stayed in 97.
yeah,
Only by 11 days. And it was how much?
yeah,
It was something ridiculous, like 100 baht a day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big Kevin just said he overstayed 13 years.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Can we ask him, what was the fine associated with that back then?
Well, Kev, you're hearing now, but you can. From my memory, it was around the $5,000 mark, I think. But Big Kev,
Oh, really?
you want to tell us what the fine was for the overstaying of 13 years?
Because I guess it's got to be in some way, the fine has really got to outweigh the cost of staying there on a legal basis with visa fees, right?
Yeah.
So it must be pretty cheap then to stay there on visas, and they might be more open than they are with.
I think
I don't
Thailand.
get into talking about visas too much, but
Yeah, well, Thailand seems to be. I mean, it's changing at the moment from everything I'm hearing. The immigration, if you want to stay there on a retirement visa, all the rules are changing for that. But Thailand definitely does seem to be stricter than the Philippines.
yeah, it's just a period of time. I believe the amount for qualifying for and renewing your retirement visa hasn't changed. It's just the period in which you need to keep it in the bank has changed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Big Kev just said, yeah, it's $5,000 US.
All right. £3,000.
So that's why he's saving up his money. Obviously, he wants to get back there to see his daughters.
God, that's nothing really in comparison, is it? For overstaying for 13 years, that's not much of a fine, really. Retrospect, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
How much would I don't know what the visas are or the cost of visas or.
okay, well, you guys in the chat there. What's a visa cost? I mean, if you were to go there on a 30-day visa and you wanted to extend it, guys, what would it cost you to extend your visa? US dollars is fine, but just out of curiosity, I mean, I've heard figures before, but better to hear from you guys that would would know a lot more than I do about the visa fees. I'll just wait for them to answer them when they put a figure in there. I'll let you know what it is. I mean, I don't know what it is in Thailand to renew. To renew your visa if you wanted to renew it?
Well, there was a trial period. I don't know who's tested this, if any, but up until the 15th of January, and they didn't say how you could get this, but I got it from the horse's mouth, immigration, online, and it said they were this trial period of where you could arrive and have 60 days on arrival. But that was a trial period that supposed to have ended on the 15th of January. Now, to get a visa exempt stamp in your passport, you just turn up, depending on what country as well, so don't quote me, but just turn up at the airport and they stamp you 30 days visa exempt tourist pass, and to extend that, we were paying, I think it works about, say, 100, 120 Australian.
Okay, that's not bad.
£70, something like that, for another month.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you get
if you're in immigration, Sawyer 5 and Jomtien, which is where we went, in and out is an hour and a half, so you can have it done and dusted. But it is mad. It is like an hour and a half you don't really want to spend there because it's so busy, mental, and it's not as 100% clear as it should be with regards to what paperwork and handy duplicates of different things that you need to take.
I've just heard that you can't walk in there anymore, that you have to do everything online now.
Yeah, somebody said there's an appointment system, which is fair enough. Just plan ahead and they can accommodate you better maybe, and you're in there less time, so I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I've heard that guys would go to immigration on certain days and there'd be like 100 people lined up waiting.
Oh yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
That's just crazy, but but now I've heard you got to get online to organise it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It spreads it out on the workload from, because they're going to probably be stressed as well. And when they want to take their lunch, they'll just take their lunch, and you're still standing there waiting, and you're just watching everybody eat until they finish their lunch, until you start accommodating you again.
Yeah.
So yeah, no one wants to be standing in a queue for an hour and a half is quick. Some people have done it quicker, of course, less than an hour, but difficult to pick the right day and time. Your queue starts down the road before they even open.
Crystal, you're still there. So, Crystal, have you travelled anywhere outside of the US at all? Just a bit curious. We don't hear much about the women who travel. It's always the guys that are sort of on these adventures to Southeast Asia and other places around the world, but don't hear much from the girls about traveling. Maybe not as adventurous, but love to hear if you've traveled outside Mexico. Okay, that's a place I wouldn't mind visiting too. Just a one-off, I guess, just like on the bucket list. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I know some places are a no-go zone over there, that's for sure. Definitely not as safe as the Philippines or Thailand. That's a given. And I think, to be fair to Thailand, I think Thailand is probably safer than the Philippines, really.
Yeah.
Just don't mess with the locals. You're liable to come up against some regional Muay Thai champion.
One of my subscribers is actually coming over with his son. He's just turning 21, and he's a Muay Thai champion, or certainly fighter. So they're coming over because they he learned about Pad Thai and Muay Thai without even ever going to Thailand, and he took it up in Canada.
Yeah, I got a friend here. His lad is a Muay Thai fighter, and I'd love to take him across there, take him to somewhere like that King's Gym, and get him to get some experience with the. I mean, the fact is, I mean, if you're gonna fight, Muay Thai is one of the better ones to do, but these days you need to be a little bit. you need to be able to learn to fight on the ground. So that's why everyone these days does the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But for striking, I think the Muay Thai, mate, you cop one of their kicks to the leg, you know, a couple of those kicks and you're going to be limping around with a dead leg, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they kicked you like they would have kicked their bamboo plant as I was practicing.
Crystal, I just found out I have land over there. Let's go, Mark. Is that land in Mexico, Crystal? You're saying you got land over in Mexico?
You just invited somebody over there as well.
Who was it? There's the governor, the ex-wrestler who was a governor. What's his name? He was also a Navy SEAL. I can't think of his name. Ah, yeah, she's got land in Mexico. Cool. I know I can't think of his name, but I know he lives in Mexico now. I mean, I'd love to see Mexico. Jesse Ventura, that's the one, DR. Yeah, I believe that now he's actually living over there. He lives in Mexico, and he seems to love it. It's definitely on my bucket list of places I'd like to go and see for sure.
So there's a great club there. Just looking up the name of it. Put this in one of your tabs to look at later. This club, find it on YouTube in particular. Some people take footage. My gosh, talk about sensory overload. Not just like a nightclub with music. It's a performance. You become part of the performance, the act, because it's all around you. And they have some really fantastic artists as well. Like they have a big, not brass band, but like they reenact scenes from the Mask movie.
Oh shit!
They have the mighty, they have like Marvel comic characters, trapeze artists as well, fighting amongst you. They have tiki tape parades going on, dancing, there was all sorts going on. It was absolutely mental, sensory overload. One price, all your drinks included. You just wave them down and they're going to give you another drink, whatever you like. And it's just a complete mess. And I don't remember too much of it, but thankfully they got me drunk enough to take a photo of the guy who was wearing the mask at the time. Yeah, it was absolutely mental. I think it's something like Cafe Mambo or something like that. But I'm going to have to look it up now because it's doing the headaches on the tip of my tongue.
With all the travelling you've done, when you're sitting back in the UK, you must get itchy to go travelling again.
Yeah, well, the time I spend in the UK now is really just a break from the travelling. It's not a stop to it, but yeah, it's just because I've travelled, so much. It's just like a pit stop, if you like. Yeah. Mambo, let's find this place. Is it Mambo Cafe? I've left it open. I'll send you the link to it another day, but that's it. Yeah, the travelling, I loved it. I've been to Cancun and over that way, Belize, pulled up the Inca trails and whatnot, and dove the Blue Hole. That was awesome. That was one of my best dives. The Blue Hole, which is like a sunken cave, went down 42 meters. That was great. It was more like a black hole. It was so dark.
Oh God,
Like that. And Fiji as well was great for diving.
Oh,
my first shark feeding dive in Fiji. Great.
One of my good friends, his sister and her husband and kids lived in Fiji, although the two boys, I think, are now back in Australia. But I think his sister and husband are still living in Fiji. They got businesses over there. I don't think they'll ever come back to Australia. They seem to love it over there.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
But they've got a lot.
I love islands.
They've got a lot of issues over there, though. I mean, there seems to be problems at the moment between the Fijians and the Indians over there, because there's a huge Indian population, and there seems to be some issues between them. So,
yeah, I think it's really confined to It's Suva, the biggest island, the main island. You don't get any troubles or anything like that on the outer islands. I think there was even a coup there before or just after I was there.
Yeah, I remember something like that. One of the generals or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I want to get out of Adelaide, just to, because
What does the government of Australia want to populate Adelaide a bit more with foreigners?
okay, Adelaide's
For skilled workers.
it's a strange case because we lose a lot of our younger people to the East Coast because of employment. A lot of the big companies are on the East Coast there. So if you get a university degree and you get some qualifications, then a lot of those kids are traveling to the East Coast for the work. It's just not here. Adelaide's probably one of the smaller cities in Australia. I mean, South Australia is a big state, but the population overall is only like just over 1 million people. So maybe 1.1, 1.2 million, where on the East Coast, you got cities of 4 million, 5 million. But you got to remember, Australia is only, I think the total population is like maybe 23, 24 million people.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are just up over 50 million in the UK.
No, it's more like 65 now.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
We're Alice Island, it's sinking.
Yeah, so
sinking under the welcoming arms of the rest of the world that want to come over here.
Whereabouts in the UK are you?
I'm in Wales at the moment.
Ah, okay. That's is that mountainous sort of area? Hilly?
Yeah, it's lovely. I'll wake up in the morning, I look out the window, and I've got, depending on how cold it is, maybe snow-capped mountains as it was a couple of weeks back. To look out on, it's beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, very lush. That's actually a local slang word, I guess, to a degree. Lush. Lush, isn't it?
Yeah, we use that word here. I found talking to a couple of English guys that a lot of our colloquialism is quite similar. I guess that's because we have a big English background. Australia was pretty settled with English and Irish, so definitely.
Yeah, I've done the east coast of Australia. Worked in Melbourne. I went as far as Townsville. And drove back for New Year's on Sydney Harbour.
Geez,
Early Beach. I loved Early Beach.
There's a big difference from Melbourne to Townsville.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was only, it was in 97, I was working in Melbourne for Optus and Telstra. And I did a stint they were desperate, the agency was desperate for people to work in the Three Crowns Casino over the water there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Crown Casino. I can't forget, yeah. I did New Year's hours with that. I worked New Year's in that casino when Rod Stewart was playing, so that was good. But unfortunately, a family member became ill. We was only in Melbourne for 5 weeks, so I had to leave. I managed to get my working visa renewed though before I left, which was awesome. But I never got back to use it. But yeah, we went back there for 5 weeks and did a road trip from flew into Brisbane, went to Townsville, did a few stops up the coast, Gold Coast, Early Beach. I loved. Went over to Fraser Island and stayed overnight on the Barrier Reef. I think it was on a liverboard. I don't remember if we did stay on the liverboard or not. I remember going to the Barrier Reef, diving that.
So that's all nice along there, the surface paradise, the Gold Coast. Brisbane, the city itself, is probably not the most attractive of cities.
I was really surprised. It was during the week, and I was thinking, "Where's rush hour?" It's like dead. It's so quiet, and there's plenty of buildings there, and a lovely river going. We stayed right on this river, but yeah, we was there literally a night or two, pick up a vehicle, and off we went. Didn't really offer us anything, Brisbane.
If you want to see a like a pretty city, Perth, Perth and
Oh,
Fremantle.
right, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always hearing about that, and I've never been
Yeah.
over to the west coast at all. So I've been
I don't know.
been up the east coast, but I've never been to the Territory, Western Australia, or Tasmania. There's 3 places I've never been.
Oh, okay. Did you know there's a restaurant called Titastic in Australia?
No, my brother and his ex, or his ex has still got it. Because he's been going to Southeast Asia for over 20 years, and he was married to a Thai girl and been with Philippine girls. But his Thai girl that he was with, they started a restaurant here in Adelaide called the Ban Thai,
All right.
and that still goes. That's only up the road from me, actually.
So I need to pat myself on the back because I've knocked, finally, after only a couple of years, I've knocked Titastic restaurant off of the top spot in Google search. They're based in Port Macquarie. Yeah, because that was annoying me that people would type Titastic in and all they got was a restaurant coming up for the first time. Oh, here is Palmerston, Northern Territory.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, over here, the Thai food, Thai restaurants seem to do very well. I mean,
Yeah,
you got lots of different cultures in Australia and different types of restaurants, but the Thai food seems to be a favourite. A lot of the guys, a lot of the people, sorry, they seem to like Thai food. I've never really eaten anything Thai. Maybe
really.
just the noodles. Maybe that's about it. Yeah.
Ah,
Even when my brother had the restaurant, I'd go visit him, and my son would eat there. But it was see, Thai food's a lot of seafood, and I'm not big on seafood.
well, I tell you, I eat Thai every day when I'm out there, at least once a day. And I don't have the fish dishes. The majority of them, to be fair, are not fish dishes, but they love their fish. To be fair, they do love their fish. And certain amounts of different types of seafood. But yeah, it's their biggest meat out there is pork and chicken.
Yeah, yeah. Same with the Philippines. Is the same, pork and chicken.
Yeah.
But I'd like to try the pad thais and shit like that. They always look nice. The only thing I don't like the look of is the soups. They don't,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but I guess
I'm
until
not
you
a
try
big, yeah, the flavours are awesome because they have that mixture of sweet, hot, and sour together. So if I like put fish sauce and then flour, that's very salty and you need a little bit for seasoning. But like I say, has a fantastic contrasting flavour to the sugars or the other sauces that are sugary that go in the same meal. And a lot of the soups that have that.
do they?
You've got to know what's in those soups, obviously, if you like certain vegetables or not. I don't like bean shoots, for example, when they're not as cooked as much because I don't like the crunchiness or water chestnuts. I've never used to like water chestnuts. I'm okay now, but yeah, and a lot of the soups obviously can be seafood as well based.
Do they have the dried fish like they do in the Philippines?
Yeah,
And that stinks
that's right.
when they cook it.
No, what stinks the most and what can take your breath away, in fact, take the oxygen out of the air, is when they fry the chilies. But I've never really had a horrible fishy smell at all, not even in the street markets.
Because in Philippines they got this dried fish, and supposedly when you cook it, it stinks like shit. And one of the guys I know in the US, he was at work and his wife cooked this dry fish, and the neighbours called the police, and the police came there looking through his house for a dead body.
Oh wow, no,
That's how bad the smell was.
I've never experienced that, or I've not known of anyone else doing that bad. Oh my god.
They even went to his work to make sure he was still alive.
Oh wow, that really stank me.
Yeah, I hear that a lot though. The dried fish over there, that's the dried fish in the Philippines is really stinky.
The worst smelling fish is from a country like, I think it's Norway or Sweden. Oh, let me look it up. I'll give you the name of it. It's a funny name. Begins with S on it. It's raw fish, and it's left to ferment for a long time. And you will see people on YouTube doing it, live, opening it up and nearly throwing up just from the smell. This is how strong it is. You ever heard of it?
Nah.
I'll give you the name of it. You'll write this down and have a look at it afterwards. I'll tell you, it's the worst in the world.
I'll definitely stay away from that shit. Fermented shark. Someone's saying DR just said fermented shark. I've never heard of that one.
Go. Sir Stroming. Right, write this down. You ready?
Yep.
Right. I'll stick it quickly in the chat so everyone can have it. Where are I've got so many tabs, I'm not even sure where you are. Talk to me. That's it. So it comes up then as a... here we are.
We're here.
There you go.
Sir Stroming. I have to Google that one up.
Yeah. You chew that one up.
Well, the dried fish they have in the Philippines, they just seem to leave it out in the open and let it dry with flies all over it, and it doesn't look that nice.
The surströmming is a lightly salted fermented Baltic Sea herring. Yeah, and it's the fermentation process is of at least 6 months.
Oh shit!
It gives the fish a characteristic strong smell and putrid. It's the most putrid food smell in the world.
Oh god!
It comes in a tin, and yeah, I'm sure that will be banned in certain places and only served in certain places. But you look that up on YouTube and watch people try and stomach it.
Well, that's a bit like durian. I mean, all the vloggers I used to watch were saying about how a lot of hotels ban durian from the hotels.
That's right. Yeah, you see the signs up. No durian fruit. It's such a strong smell and off-putting to many. I've never recalled it actually ever smelling it, to be fair, or trying it.
You never tried it?
No, I haven't. I've yet to try it. And I like my fruits as well.
I heard the taste is a lot different to the smell.
It's not cheap, I can tell you that. It's not cheap. It's like 120 baht for like a small piece in a polystyrene cellophane wrapped tray.
Ah, wow. Yeah,
small piece, mate. It's not cheap fruit. I don't know why. There's plenty of it out there.
Strange, because it doesn't. From what I understand, a lot of foreigners wouldn't go near it. Really, just the smell would probably put them off.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't remember. It is supposed to smell of vomit.
But as for the Thai food, I'm keen to try it. But I watched some of the dishes that when you did live streams and you were cooking some of those dishes, and they look great.
I love cooking. So I'm cooking every day, and it's always got to have spices in it. It's always got to be foreign tasting. I'm not a lover of the comparison that the British foods, to be fair.
Are you okay with the heat in the food, like the chili?
Very much so. Very much.
Yeah, because I don't mind.
I was from my father. We purchased a one-on-one training course with the founder of the Curry Club UK and Good Curry Guide for the UK author, and we had a day with him, and he was teaching us back to basics, how to create your own curry powders from scratch, from the seeds and everything. It was awesome day. I learned a hell of a lot, but now I'm so critical for when I eat out at an Indian restaurant.
From what I've heard is that turmeric is used in the making of curry powder.
It's very good for you, turmeric as well, and you can get that in capsule forms to take.
Yeah, I use turmeric powder. If I cook rice, I always put the turmeric in the water, and you get that yellow tinge to the rice. So I like that.
Yeah, turmeric is used very widely in Indian food.
Yeah, I like turmeric.
And masala powders. Make your own masala powders. But yeah, from before I was a teenager, I was on curries. I can remember being at school and chanting with my brother for curry beans on toast. Yeah, we used to do it. Curry beans, curry beans, curry beans.
It's
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
though that like Australia and the UK, we've got a lot in common. But I had a niece that just went over there. She had an English boyfriend, and they went over to London for a while, and she actually struggled with the food over there. I wouldn't have thought there was been a big difference, but yeah, she said that she struggled with the food in the UK, which really surprised me because I thought it'd be very similar to what we have here. So
There might be a certain ingredient they can't handle. I know my mother's and her friend. There's a certain ingredient we haven't nailed down as to exactly what the ingredient is yet. If it's cumin or what. It's something that's widely used. Tried so many times, and it just makes her feel ill. So it really needs to be tested because she loves eating her food as well, foreign food, but she just can't handle that. She can't chance having Indian food because of the ingredient. Yeah. But you heard of the term curry addict, haven't you?
curry addict, no.
Well, people that are addicted to curries, they've got to have their curry fix, once a week or whatever. But that comes from the effect that chilies can produce in your body, and it's the addiction to that you get. It's not actually to the food; it's what's in the food, because it creates more endorphins in your body. So the neuropeptides and the peptide hormones in the human are increased as a result of having chili. So it gives you a bit of a high effect, and that's what people get addicted to.
Wow, that's a new one. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's one of the
It's
things.
produced by the central nervous system, so you're aggravating the central nervous system with the curry and give you a bit of a high. Yeah.
That's what I like.
I would put chili powder just on cheese on toast, mate.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah. I haven't got normal paprika in the cupboard. I've got hot paprika.
One of the things I really have enjoyed about being on YouTube and joining some of the streams and holding these streams is there's a wealth of information out there, and you're always learning something new. Whether it's about the culture or the people of a place or the foods, or sometimes it's just some little abstract little fact. It's
yeah. Life's learning, forever learning. Won't be open to it. A lot of people that aren't, but there's so much more to learn. Too many things. Crazy.
I'm just going to take a 2-minute break here because my dog is out the back and she's barking, and I've got to go.
Now.
I've got to go. No, I'm just going to shut her up. So I'll just be 2 minutes. Just give us a sec.
You all right? You all right? sorry guys, I don't mean to be ignorant. I don't know where the live stream tab is. I can't read any comments, and I'm working away here editing stuff.
Sorry about that.
I just realised as well, what's that? Did you hear the TV in the background? Because that might have been giving you copyright notices because of the music on the adverts.
No, I haven't received nothing. No.
I switched it off anyway.
Just that the restaurant I was telling you about, the Band Thai, her son lives here as well, and he's got the back room, and so when the dog barks, it probably bugs the shit out of him because he doesn't get home till late at night, and then sleeps most of the day. So I just have to shut her up so she doesn't wake up the poor lad. He's actually he's Thai. I think his father's still in Thailand, but his mother's here. Like I said, she's done really well with the restaurant. She's quite a nice person. Her mother actually, her Thai mother, actually runs restaurants in Germany, and so.
Thai restaurants in Germany, right?
Yeah, I mean, I only just heard about that through my brother because he told me about that her family's over. Well, her mother, anyways, in Germany, running restaurants there.
Yeah.
His ex now has the restaurant here because they're no longer a couple. So,
Right.
But he's got a Filipino girlfriend that he supports in Quezon City, which is just outside of Manila. But he seems to go through girls' mate faster than we go through hot dinners. You know, he seems to be up. I don't know if it's upgrading or downgrading, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't seem to be happy with one person, which, for the love of me, I could never understand that. But
I'll settle it out.
Personally, I'd prefer just to meet one nice person, and but some guys, that's not enough for them, I guess. Which is, I guess, what makes Pattaya so popular. You know, you go home with a different girl every night if you want. But I don't know. I think. I mean, I can't really talk from experience, but only from the experience of being in a relationship. I think I'd much rather be in a relationship than just dogging it every day. That's for sure. Dogging, you know, like going out and fucking a different girl every day.
Dogging is a different term over here in the UK.
Okay. Should I ask? I probably shouldn't.
Okay, my definition of it is maybe not 100% correct because it's not an activity I partake in, but it's where people go in public with their vehicles, usually to maybe a car park of an area in the evening, sometimes during the day, but mainly in the evening, I believe. And they have this certain code between each other where they flash lights, and as an invite to others to come over and watch you indulge in sexual activities with your partner or others.
Oh God.
That's called dogging over here. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I have heard that term. Yeah, not my cup of tea, I don't think. TT.
I just thought I'd throw that bit of education out there for those that didn't know.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's and you don't really need to, like Simon highlighted probably to you if you've watched all of Simon's, that who's that guy? Is it Ian that's been staying with him on and off? And then him and his girlfriend were there. He's retired there, and then they split up. And you can go, you know, you haven't got to go to any of these touristy places at all to have single ladies thrusting their line ID and telephone number into your hand just at Marketplace. It's just up the road from Simon. Where in the world do you get that?
It's a time that I enjoyed. I'm just trying to think. Ron, do you remember Ron, that the guy who's in his 70s from Oklahoma, was staying with?
Oh, Ron Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. Poor bugger ended up with Johnny in Pattaya, just throwing down tequilas. I think Johnny got him a bit drunk.
That was was that down in Kauai?
It might have been.
Or Bangkok, I can't remember now. But yeah, he's based out of, or in Kauai, and Johnny. There was something happening. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Took him to the dark side. He enjoyed it.
No, he does. I think he'd like to get back there, but I'm not sure when he's going to head back over there. But it's going to be more towards the end of this year. I've got a lovely letter from him explaining his circumstances and why he can't get back just yet. He'll be back. Yeah, I always call him Boom Boom Ron.
Yeah, I call him Tequila Ron.
He's earned both names.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a good guy.
It was a shame. I had a lot going on back in when was it, February, March last year.
Is it that long ago?
Yeah, it was, and it was the first quarter of last year. He came over, and that's right. I was there with Mickey Malmo Songkran time. Yeah, so it was March, April time, and then Ron came over, and I just couldn't get to see him, and I felt awful about that because we were communicating before he came over, and he was an avid watcher of my videos and commented on them all, and it was getting even more excited, of course, with our live streams that we did on and off in February. He loved that. And yeah, it's a shame. I never did get to meet him, but I had a lot going on then, and yeah, it would have been a bit wild. I would have shown him a different area. There's Pattaya as well. Yeah. So next time.
Actually,
yeah, he's coming over. He'll be coming over again towards the end of the year.
I think. I mean, I don't. I mean, I only talk to Ron on the streams and that, but I think from what I've seen, he would probably enjoy the times like you and Mickey had in John Tim. I think that would be more his speed.
Yeah. Everyone likes a blowout now and again, and but it can get a bit tiring, absolutely. And if you've been around the block a few times, and at that age you've been there and done that so many times before, I would have thought you wouldn't want to keep doing that and keep partying. But yeah, it's we do. As soon as it becomes beer o'clock, Mickey Malmo wants to get out on it, so we're out. Before any of the bars are really. We're in the bars before the staff. For real.
Oh God!
Yeah. We have to ask the bars, "Are you open?" Yeah, no problem. It could be just a cleaner there.
The one thing. The one thing I really enjoyed was when you would do your streaming or your vlogs and that, was that Mickey would really immerse himself in it. He would, like you'd see him up there dancing with the girls, and
he loves to party.
He didn't hold back.
No, he after a couple of beers, he loosens up a little bit more. But yeah, he did it. He reminded me actually, because I've got some footage somewhere of him, even on a pole. He's pole dancing. We had his stand around there a couple of times.
I've seen that.
And do you know what? That one of you guys said to us, right? You should go to the fantasy lounge. I forgot what it was. It was a ladyboy bar, wasn't it? And sort of look it out. So I thought that's sort of it. We'll go anywhere. You tell us where you want us to go, and we'll go. We went up to this fancy lounge, and it was early doors, early evening, and there wasn't much happening. I said, "Oh, Mickey, get up on that pole." Or did he just? Yeah, I think I was joking, thinking he'd never go up there. And he was straight up there. I was like, "Whoa!" He's not even 3 sheets to the wind yet, and he was up there. And he loved it. He likes the camera. He's always been a smiler and one for the ladies. All the his local pubs where he lives, but he loves them all. He will, to a degree, get emotionally attached to them, if you like, just through having a bit of banter with them. And if the girl's having a day off, he thinks he's upset them. And I'll say, oh, something emotionally involved, But they all love him, and he's always smiling. He's always been healthy and with that positive outlook. And he's never been ill, so it's been good. I think he's recently been suffering with a bit of gout. Maybe he's got to get it checked out. I told him to, because he's been suffering with it in his leg, to the point where he's not been able to walk properly whilst he was out there. He's just come back having spent 2 months out there. But yeah, he's never been ill in 75 years ever. Like he had a headache.
Jesus, half his luck.
Yeah.
That's good. I've been pretty lucky, so touch wood.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I can't remember which video it was, but I remember one night you were sitting at the tables, you were drinking, and he had the most gorgeous, probably mature age woman. She would have been, I guess, 30s, maybe even early 40s. It's hard to tell with some of the Thai girls.
Sure.
She was gorgeous. If he didn't bar find that girl, he needed a good slapping, I tell you.
I wonder what that one was. Could it have been one that he's frequented? Like you might have seen her or the bar regularly. I can pin it down there for you what bar it might have been.
But one thing you've got to give him credit for, he was always a gentleman.
Right, yeah.
Consummate gentleman.
There's something that you get from Thais in their culture as well. They've seen their citizens. Thais have got so much respect for the older generation. So much. You forget sometimes. And, they're very respectful to their elders.
That's just inbuilt in their culture, though. I mean, they seem very respectful of their parents, and I mean, let's face it, a lot of those girls are working in those places because they are helping to support their families and parents and that. So but it definitely is inbuilt to their culture. I think that's one of the attractions to places like Thailand and the Philippines is that I think in the West the family unit doesn't mean it doesn't have it's not given that much importance anymore, whereas in Southeast Asia the family unit is still very important to them.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's been lost through a couple of things. Maybe the type of religion and culture that they've had steeped in history with it, and the outlook of those, and the Western world being more of a mixture and cosmopolitan, and money and the trappings of materialistic things.
I think society in the West has some big issues. I mean, I don't have a problem with equal rights for women, and that's just shouldn't be an issue at any time. But I think the feminist movement really did more harm than good for women. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
Because I've seen it now with my ex. She's more. We only have one son between us, and she's more interested in going out and enjoying herself than looking after. I mean, he's old enough to look after himself, obviously, but she doesn't seem to like where I'm helping him out with things and always happy to see him and cook him a meal. She's out doing her own shit and leaving him in a house with no food, and she's more interested in herself than she is in him.
Her priorities are different from yours.
Yeah, which you wouldn't see that in a Thai family or a Philippines family. And I think that's just a society thing in the West now. I don't have a problem with independent women, but I definitely have a problem with my ex when she's out more worried about herself than she is her son. I mean, for me, when I grew up with my parents and the way I am with my son, I put my son before I worry about myself.
Right.
But I don't know. Have you got children?
No, I've not. No,
Mm.
I've never had any children.
Yeah, I got one boy. He's 21 years old. Pain in the ass at times, but wouldn't change a thing. Because I tend to remember what I was like at his age. So
I had 24 cousins in the same town, and I was the oldest, so you can imagine how many babysitting stints I was called upon to do.
oh, geez.
That really not put me off, but I'm not rushing out to make any children for myself, having had to look after so many others for years.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like anything. There's always pros and cons to everything. I wouldn't change a thing. But at the same time, I can understand those that don't have kids, and it's probably a pretty courageous decision to make, really.
Yeah, I think there should be a lot more thought dedicated to before pursuing that as well. I don't think a lot of people do.
Well, the problem I have with it is there's people having kids there that should never have kids.
Yeah.
Some of the way you see kids treated by their parents is just, it's pretty shocking. But unfortunately, we can't control who has children or not. But I mean, I consider myself lucky with my son. He's a pretty good kid. But for the most part, he's a 21-year-old boy, mate, who's more interested in his mates than he is his dad.
All right. Yeah, he's not a teenager anymore then.
No. And that's good. He's got his independence, and that's fine.
How old is his mother then? She likes the party still.
His mother?
Yeah.
She's 51, 50,
Yeah.
51. But she totally changed, though. But she has MS. I don't know if you have multiple sclerosis. So that changed her total personality. It was a 180-degree turn in her personality.
Oh, really? For the worse.
Went from being probably the nicest person I'd ever known to being the biggest bitch on earth.
All right. Damn.
A total change.
Because it affected her psychologically.
Well, yeah, I've read up on it, and it does change their personalities, and that's a common occurrence. And I talked to a guy, you might have seen him on my stream, Lost the Nomad. He was saying he's talked to a few people recently. One of them was a relative, and all the same things, that their partners had got MS, and 6 to 12 months later, their marriages were over with. So, but that's just shit. Shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm just at that point now, mate, where I just want to get out. I want to travel. I want to enjoy myself, and which is the thing about being in Adelaide, is being a small city. There's so much that reminds you of everything. Even my family, and I lost mum and dad and my brother in 2013 within a 6-month period.
Oh, wow.
And the fact is, go to Thailand or the Philippines or Vietnam. It's such a different environment that nothing I look at is going to remind me of anything.
It's a great escapism thing, isn't it? But
yeah,
but we've still got to keep our feet on the ground when we have that escapism, haven't we? Because this is where people can go the other way.
Oh, yeah. But I could use that sensory overload at the moment. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah. Quite right. And I think that's why a lot of people love to follow these people that are providing that gateway to what they haven't got right now, right? By watching the videos of what's going on over there right now, and the jubilation of what they capture on film. It's a bit of a fix, right?
Well, for me at first, it was a way to, because I'd spoken to my brother who's been over there, like I said, for over 20 years, and talking to him, and that was all well, but you only get one perspective of it, and his perspective isn't always the best. But for me, it was about learning about the place at first, and then from there it became partly entertainment value, because some of the vloggers are entertaining.
Absolutely.
I'm not a big fan of Thailand Rob, but he was the first vlogger I watched, and he does make an entertaining video.
His mannerism.
And he does tend to keep it positive. So they will always enjoy it. Like Simon, I think the thing that caught me with Simon was his storytelling ability.
Yeah, he loves doing that as well. Yeah. There's so many of them.
The one that really hit home for me that, and I hope they get the book done. I think Ron is supposed to be writing the book, but that Drowning Love, that story, I'm not sure if you are familiar with.
To be fair, I am familiar with the titles, but I'm not an audio book Thai person. I'm only into self-development books.
Yeah.
Audio versions of those, but no, I'm looking at his channel actually now. It's funny you should say, because I'm looking at a playlist that's got Jib the Thai vampire bar girl in it, and another one which is that goes over 2 seasons. He's got 19 videos just on Jib.
I tell you what, Jib is one that every guy should watch those videos just to see the dark side of the Thai girls and what you have to be wary of. But the Drowning,
he paints it though like I'm sure he paints it like this is not obviously everybody, and that's a mistake a lot of people would make. They listen to a story and it's like, everyone's the same over there. Like these people that are scared to go to Thailand because there's ladyboys there. How bizarre is that? Sorry, anyway, I'll cut in. You carry on.
that doesn't bother me, mate, because I'm friends with, and I watch Warren Girders. You know Warren, and
he's
in
I'm with you on that. It's just
he's in a relationship with a lovely ladyboy. She's
one of my most successful videos is how to spot a ladyboy, and it's in 2 parts. You should see the comments that I can't allow come through. Now, a lot of them are constructive criticism, and a lot of them show their disdain.
Some people just
constructively.
Some people are just ignorant. I don't have an issue. Like I said, I watch Warren, his lady,
Chanya.
and Chanya, and he's happy. Who cares?
We're not.
At the end of the day, they're people like everyone else.
We're not here to judge, so it's like I don't see the fascination of trying to judge. But there's definitely, when you go through the amount of comments I have, there's definitely a theme to it. It's bizarre. It's almost like, and I did make this as a comment because it only came to me after reading so many. It's great market research having that video up now for over a year, and the comments I get, because people are fighting within themselves as to should they or shouldn't they, and it comes across in the comments. So many comments are coming through about you could have chosen a better looking ladyboy to look at, or can't you go down and do all this again but find better looking ones than that? And in the same breath in their comments, they're putting them down. I'm like, hold on, this is an educational video about how to spot, the backdrop is, and I give them a bit of background of how the video came to be, but the backdrop was simply some footage I got as a result of celebrating my then girlfriend's 40th, and we went to that bar for 4+ hours with our own bottle of whiskey and shared it. And I thought, how can I turn this into something educational? And that's how it came to be. And I listed all of these 24 different ways to how to spot a ladyboy, and they were just a backdrop of the footage to the educational video. And it's in that playlist of tutorial on Thailand.
Look,
it's very interesting, the comments that have come through on there.
It's crazy. I mean, they're people like everyone else, and some of them are the nicest people. I mean, I remember Cheap Charlie doing a vlog about how he lost his camera one night, and it was actually a ladyboy that picked it up and returned it to him.
No, they're just as not, the lady boys and the even a sector of the ladies that are out there, and we would spot them certainly in the Western world as well, are tomboys as well. So they're not lady boys, but they're not very effeminate, but they are clearly tomboys, and they don't mind being addressed as such as well. So you see that when you're in the field, if you like, a lot, and when you're with other guys and doing yourself as women.
I remember.
But yeah,
I watched a video. I think it was Sean in Wonderland. He put up a video, and I reckon in that video, a tomboy cut Cheap Charlie's lunch. It was a gorgeous girl too, and the tomboy beat him to it because Cheap Charlie's got no sense whatever when it comes to talking to girls. He's got no game at all.
No.
He is as slow as a wet week, that boy.
Yeah, I hope he's all right. I don't know what he's got going on, if anything, in his head.
I think
or in his life around him, but I'm sure I just wish him the best.
I think
with his 250,000 followers that rely on his entertainment.
He's I think his big issue is drinking. I think drinking's become a problem for him, and he has touched on it before, which is a shame. But I mean, I watched that guy's channel grow from like maybe 15,000 when I was on there, and
really?
now it's over 200,000 or something. He's looking for a wife in Japan now, says DR. Oh, well, good luck to him. I tell you what, having been to Japan, I know. Hey, Junior, I tell you what, Japanese girls are much more. They're very hard to get into a relationship with. They really do want someone who's responsible. I'm not sure Cheap Charlie would make a good catch for any Japanese girl, and they'd pick up on that pretty quickly. But they are some beautiful girls over there.
He's still out there now, isn't he? In Japan?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, I wish him well. I've got the utmost respect for everybody. People say, "Oh, you've got to earn respect," and I don't agree with that. You only have to earn respect with me. If you lose it, you get it off the bat.
Yeah, what I don't understand is this attacking of people. If you don't like someone, just don't watch them. It's pretty simple to me,
Yeah, unfortunately, some people are simple and they just don't get it.
Yeah, that's the polite way of putting it, Mr. TT.
I'm very conservative.
very diplomatic of you.
Yeah.
But I just got sick of it. And, I tell you now, I mean, the drama in the Thailand vlogging community is not good. But I tell you what, the Philippines is a lot worse. I tell you what, they get very nasty.
You seem to know a lot. You seem to know a lot about it when you avoid it.
Well, like I guess for the last.
Did you fix or what?
Well, the last year I've been watching vloggers and talking to these guys and seeing what I mean. Guys create channels just to harass people,
I know, and then they will go, and then they will have the pack mentality as well.
Yeah, that's a big issue here.
Primal.
I tell you what, and one of the things
you could do a good psychological video on it if you were brazen enough to do something like that on without the qualification. But if one came on it, I'm not, I'm educated in any way to make a judgment on it, but you can clearly see what's going on.
What I really hate is at the moment, especially in the Philippines community, is a guilty by association. So if you're friends with somebody that someone else doesn't like, you're suddenly on the hit list as well.
That's right.
And that's
Especially if you show any weakness in terms of biting anything small, then that will you can quite easily become a target, and I think that's the biggest strength. And I've advised people face to face years ago as well, before I was even vlogging, not to advise to it, don't entertain it at all, because it will just grow, and it has done for them because they haven't listened to me. And
Do you
I
know?
won't say who that was, but that's I've seen it happen, and then it's like 2 years down the line, I told you so. But,
Do you know
yeah.
that you did make? I'm not sure if you know this or not. You did make it into a vlogger's video one night, whether it was accidental or not.
Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, at least twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
old
know.
Wednesday night meetup.
Yeah. In fact, that's 3 now, because you just reminded me of another one.
Ah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I remember the Wednesday night meetup one, and you managed to
Sure.
make that one.
Yeah, my focus, the whole purpose of me not being on camera is because I want people to appreciate my development in what I like to do, and that's the editing and publishing. And that says in my about page from the off back in December 2016, the whole purpose of what my channel is. And people don't like that, because they assume you have to be one person and one person in front of the camera all the time as a vlogger in any genre or country. And they don't understand the concept of having a team of people help you run a channel. And there are different roles within that, because, they don't know what they don't know, and they want to be comfortable with what they want, which is a shame, because then they are limited to their blinkered attitude and judge everybody on how they think they should judge them. So,
Yeah.
I can only feel sorry for them, and I'm here to help them if they need it.
Well, look at Cheap Charlie. I mean, look how successful he was from behind the camera. He was never in front of it. He was always behind the camera, and he made a great success out of his channel. Not to say that you can't by being in front of it, but I noticed, like with your channel particularly, everything's about the editing. I mean, it's not hard to tell that you put a lot of effort.
I had to make a decision on whether I would narrate them as well. So I did a couple of test runs, as you know, from, I think it was 47. I remember you guys coming on and commenting and hearing my dulcet tones when I first started narrating my live streams on 47 and John Tian. And that's something that was really the catalyst of doing a lot of live streams and doing those 93 in a month back in February. But because I'm always pursuing wanting to do things differently with YouTube and the latest technology that comes out there, and portraying the same old stuff in the country that so many people do in a different way, that was a great challenge for me to establish what could that be, or how can I be different. So that's how I've pursued, how I've grown as well as a vlogger. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got guys there that don't put a lot of effort into it, and that's fine. I mean, everyone's different, but I noticed with yourself and a couple of other guys out there seem to put in the hours with the editing, and I mean, I wouldn't have a clue where to start with editing a video, but yours have always been, at the very least, entertaining. Just the little bit of extras that you put into your vlogs. And I mean, I always used to get a bit of a chuckle out of the two little characters you use there at the beginning of your vlogs.
Oh, the minion.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You like that?
That was just always done,
I paid someone on Fiverr to do that for me. I just gave them my vector graphics logos and that, and I said, "Oh, fancy minions." I wrote to Universal Studios for approval to use them as well, and they never got back to me. So I just thought, well, I'll just carry on using them until they ask me not to use their characters, because I'm not supposed to be using them commercially.
I mean, that was just always a nice little touch to the videos,
Yeah, well, I learned intro and outro was important, and people were like, what's an intro and outro? And it's like, well, okay, not an introduction to the video, but it's an intro.
I think some
it's like
people.
a reception. You call it the reception area of a video, really, and you can have it coming soon after the start, which some people do, which is refreshing. You should also have an outro as well, and I learned that not straight away about that, and then thumbnails, ensuring that you've got a good thumbnail that reflects the content and it pops. And I've been called by one of the top bloggers in Thailand the king of thumbnails, and a lot of them, of course, have been bordering on, if not, clickbait. Well, sorry, but that's what they are. Yeah, they're designed to get you to come to the video and enjoy it. If you don't, then don't come back or click on another one. But yeah,
Well,
there's so much more still to learn with the editing side of things.
I think, I mean, maybe with the thumbnails, but I'll tell you what, with the titles of videos, I think Johnny, there's something happening, is the king of clickbait.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some brilliant ones, you know.
Yeah.
But that's his sense of humour, you know.
Yeah, and I got the comment from somebody who's self-confessed crap at editing and their own thumbnails, so that's why they labelled me it, because I don't know, it takes me seconds as well to put them together. If I put the right video deal, I would use that from the video in it, or find an appropriate picture, and bang, it's almost cut and paste now. It's really done quickly, and I've done a few thumbnails for other bloggers around the world as well. I said, you really need to enhance, I could see potential in them, and I thought, right, let me do a bit of work for them and gratis and just give them an idea. Because some people are making money off of YouTube without even having a channel, because you can produce thumbnails for them and increase their turnover that they're already making, because they can have a really fantastic, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and their thumbnails are crap. And yet, just producing them for $10, $20 a thumbnail, they're going to make, double their money easily by just having a decent thumbnail for their video productions.
Well, yeah, I think visual, is a big plus. If you can put in a good thumbnail, it is going to attract people. It's because I mean, like me, I'll put YouTube on and it just comes up with a whole heap of thumbnails, and usually you look to the most interesting one. Especially if you see a hot girl pole dancing.
Sex sells, right? So
it does.
Same with if you go shopping in a supermarket, a lot goes in. A lot of people don't realise a lot goes into the position of products and where they feature within the aisles at eye level. The average height of a person is documented for that area of the world, so they know where to position certain brands on the shelf.
Oh yeah, companies pay big money for positioning of their products.
Yeah, and then you have the end of the shelf and at the end of the aisles, etc., etc. So many things that go into it. But how they pump the smell from the fishmonger side of it out, and pump all the bread smell coming into the shop, and all this thing go into it. And it's the same with these thumbnails. If you're going to see one, as you said, one that pops amongst all the others, then you're going to click the one that pops at you.
The thing is, no matter how good your thumbnail is, no matter what sort of clickbait title you put in there, without the content, you're going to struggle. You still need that content.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, the analytics behind the scenes as well is very interesting. I think we covered a bit of it the other night, but that's really good. Where you've got the analysis on how long people stay per video and how they found your video. There is so much information behind the scenes that can be used if you were to pursue it more on a business level to your advantage. There's some really good stats.
See, I mean, I enjoy these live streams that I've been doing with a few guys and that, and when we're down on numbers at the moment, sometimes we get up to near 30, I guess.
Oh, really good.
But we only just really started the channel. But the ones where I found are the most, the ones for me anyway, the most interesting, and like the ones you did in Jontium, where you're sitting at a bar, you got people around you, and you're interacting while everything else is happening there. So you got the visual part of it, as well as the the talking in the background, and the interaction.
What is it you like about, obviously there are the elements, what is it? Is it the thing I was trying to get with it or pursue it, which I'm going to take to another level come spring, summertime, is where I will make you guys feel even more like you're sitting on the bar stool next to me.
Well, for me, it was like being, so say, for instance, outside or inside the bar there with everything happening around there. But it was the interaction with you and Mickey,
Right.
Mickey's interaction with the people around him, like the girls and all that. And I think too, the fact that the guys that were in your chat all got along really well too. So as well as chatting to you or saying something to Mickey, we were also talking to each other.
Yeah.
In the chat room. So, I mean, it was that great interaction, but you had the visual there of watching everything happening around you as well.
Yeah, so it gave you a sense of you were there with us, like.
Yeah, you were part of it. You're part of that group, yeah.
That's what I want to take to another level that no one else has done yet, and that's going to happen this year.
Well,
I won't say how I'm going to do that yet, but I've got 2 to 4 new things that are coming to the channel.
I've seen a couple of guys do the bar thing. I think maybe Thailand Unplugged and Warren had done some in bars, but you kind of got lost in that because there's all the noise, and I mean they were in real crowded bars, and so all that noise and shit happening around them, it just became white noise. Whereas in your case, you in John Tim there, and it seemed a lot more laid back. You know, you didn't have 100 people walking down the street past you all the time. You know,
right?
I think that made yours
okay.
More you could get more.
The focus is on the subjects rather than the atmosphere, surrounding atmosphere, which can be a distraction.
How you doing, Linda? Yeah, and like I said, everything, all the sounds there became white noise.
Yeah.
You got Linda just saying hi, Thai-tastic.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
But in yours, you know, you didn't get lost in all that noise. Do you know what I mean? There was, you could hear you talking, you could hear Mickey talking, or you could hear the girls talking.
Yeah, you've reminded me actually, because total contrast to that was when we went to Scooter's Bar on LK Metro. So come on, Mickey, we're going to go down LK Metro, see what's happening. So it's usually pretty noisy though, so I was not sure how we're going to get in. We went to Scooters thinking that might be, and I know Scooters, they don't mind me filming in there. And I went in there and it was just too noisy. And the videos that came, I said, what am I going to do with this footage, Mickey? And I had to cut every single sound out. We had trouble talking to each other, and that's not good.
No,
so I knew it didn't work, so we had to put, I think it was ska music to part one, and then some other music to another. I really had to spend some time on that to use the footage, but yeah, it was too much of a distraction. I didn't enjoy being there at all, to be honest.
No, and as if you're in the chat room, or say if you got doing a live stream like that, it's not enjoyable for us either. Like I said, all the noise, it just becomes white noise. You know, just it all blends into one.
You said that. You're quite right. You're quite right. It's, and given the times that we tend to be doing those live streams as well, I think they're mainly in the day and early evenings. So it's a lot quieter as well. And as you know, we did a lot in John Tien. But we did do a lot in Taya City. I must say, we did do a lot in Taya City, but it was during the day in the main, in bars that are quiet or not even open. Like, we just walk in and the cleaner pulls us a drink out of the fridge. Yeah.
I remember I'd wake up, because back then my hours were horrible, and I was up at all times of the night, and 3 o'clock in the morning I'd just put the laptop on and Mr. Thai-tastic's live. Jumped in there and it was so good because, like, it was in the evening, like late at night, wherever you were, and like I said, you didn't have 100 people walking down the street, and you could just chat to either you, or you can make comments to Mickey, and the guys in the chat were all interacting with each other. And I remember we'd all be spot some hot bird that you'd to walk past your camera, and we're all like, bar find that one for Mickey, and But you felt part of it. You felt part of that that group.
Yeah.
Almost felt like you're sitting there in the bar with you at times.
Yeah, I had a light bulb moment just a couple of weeks back. I'm so excited about it, but I can't disclose it. I want to lead by example and show people what I'm going to do and take that type of thing to another level. And I just can't wait. I'm bursting at the seams to want to do it now. I could make a coming soon video on it with the technology already to hand, but I want to do it closer to the time. But I'm so excited about it because I think it's going to be so different. And I've got a mentor that I follow on YouTube, and yeah, he's been helping us out. It's good.
Hey, Crystal, I tell you, I used to hear this when I first started watching the Philippine vloggers, and people would complain, and I think where maybe you had a little bit one up on a lot of the guys was that you were actually interacting with the people that were in your chat. So you were answering questions, you were talking to them. I think a lot of people get a bit jaded with making comments that sort of get ignored by the guy running the stream.
Yeah, that I agree, because I've been there where you're being, if you don't want to take notice of super chat, then why have it on? Unless you're, if you're managing people's expectations as a vlogger, then you should be really saying, guys, I'm not going to be able to tonight for whatever reason read your comments out and answer your questions, but I've left the super chat on. Feel free to have a bit of banter amongst yourselves, etc. I've got the mods in there to look after you. I'm just going to do some filming and talk away, and then you're managing that expectation. That's how it should be managed, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm certainly conscious of the fact that I've been on the other end where I've been typing away and really wanted a question answered or a comment to be read out or to be entertained in some way, and it's just being ignored, and it can be for ages, and then they might go back and miss it, and it's not as if the chat room is full up with truckloads of people like you do see on some of the gaming ones where it's just ridiculous. No one can read it. It's just like sticky tape. But yeah, you're quite right, and you can put people off, and it has put me off certainly, and some I don't even go to anymore as a result of the chat not being it's being mismanaged for real. Yeah.
Well, I think to me the idea of the live streams was it's interaction. It sort of should be interaction between the creator and the subs, but I do understand if you got 200 people in your chat room.
There's a couple of ways of managing it. There's definitely at least two ways of managing it, and that is first of all, you've got to manage your audience, his expectations, and that way is to say to them, up front, I'm going to miss some of you guys' questions and comments, but I'll try and get to them, and if I do miss it and you want me to, put it in caps or put it again, just cut and paste it until I see it, no problem at all. So that's one way of doing it as well, if you really do want to do that interaction with the chat, but don't just leave people hanging. No, that's not good.
Well, yeah, like for the most part, guys might be just making one-off comments or chatting to each other, but yeah, now and again you'll get a question aimed at the creator, it would be, I wouldn't say stressful, but it'd be annoying to not get an answer, and when you made that effort to sort of become part of the what would you call it? It's almost like at one point with your streams, it was almost like family, because the guys who were jumping into the chat when I was there were guys that I was seeing all the time, so I got to
that's right.
know them and have a laugh with each other. It was very community based. Maybe it's a better word. It was more of a community.
Quite, and that's how it should be. And those that have been there and done that, refer to it as such as well. It is a community, and it is, as it grows, it will become. And I've said this to others that are growing fast and don't know how to handle, or they don't even know what direction their channel is going.
I should just warn you. I should just warn you against some of these sick buggers that are in my chat here.
I don't see any of it, so it doesn't bother me.
No. I'm just because they're all good guys. But if you ever take Mickey to a ladyboy bar and you stream it, just don't be surprised to see guys asking Mickey to bar fine one of them. Because I know what these twisted boys are like.
That's nothing at all. That's nothing at all. That's nothing at all. Did you not see? Or maybe you don't. I either posted it to Twitter and or Facebook, my Fantastic's Facebook page, whereby Mickey from his recent tour, he sent me a photograph on WhatsApp, and it was him in arms, like he's got in my arms, and it's a ladyboy, and he put in his comment to me. I didn't know until afterwards, and I don't know the rest of the story. I published that. And you can see straight off the bat, the half educated.
He was always a pretty good sport. I mean, we always were hammering him about bar finding the girls, and he just laughed it off.
He was Mr. Reluctant, wasn't he, on camera all the time? That's why.
But that was part of the charm of the guy, and why we enjoyed saying it so much. But that was always a good laugh. I miss those live streams.
Yeah, well, you know what I could do? It's just I'm just not going to do it. But those ones that are like hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, they could really be chopped up. And that's another reason why these 10-minute attempts turned into such a lengthy publication, because there are obviously really dead spots and there's nothing happening, and you never know when something's going to happen. So it's best to have the live stream going as long as possible, whenever possible, because there are some corking crackers of moments that you wish you had on film. And I've yet to still go through some of the, if I know something was said or shown,
I think
at the time of doing them, then they would have been hidden, which some of them are, because I've got only 200, I think, videos published. I've got over 300 up on YouTube. So there's about 100 videos still hidden.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of the ambience was the fact that, you had those sort of lulls in action and whatever, but that was okay, because then you would hear the small talk between, say, you and Mickey, or you and your lady, or whatever. There was that was just part of the ambience, I thought. I mean,
yeah, it's just no. When I made that comment about the length of time as well, was really a couple of people have said, "Oh, I wish they were only 10 minutes," and I've had to break up, your videos into 12-minute chunks. I said, "Oh, that's fine, that's good." If they really wanted only 10-minute versions, I said, "Well, it just can't happen. I wish it could, because then I would have a library of stuff that's just not much happening, because I just religiously just did it for 10 minutes.
See, if you're just if you're jumping on your channel and just viewing your vlogs, I can understand why they're saying the 10, 12 minutes. But when it was a group of us guys in your live watching, we wanted
people coming in and out as when they feel fit or when they finish work or whatever. Yeah,
we wanted to keep seeing. We were sort of hanging like, what's going to happen next? Is Mickey finally going to do this, or
where are you off to next? And somebody said, "Oh, someone got a bit upset that we didn't go to their bar that they suggested to come in cheap." I was like, "Oh, we're going there. You promised me you was going to go there. I'm not going to follow this channel anymore." I was like, "Okay."
I remember you did one night when you went from bar to bar, and I reckon you called it like a BART bus or something like that to the next one, and you filmed that. And that was pretty cool.
Went live. The first longest ever live stream I did was when we went to the Prisset Market, which is in between Jomtien and Pattaya Night Market. It's huge. But the signal wasn't that clear, so the picture was really bad. It's still up, I think, or I might have unlisted it, I'm not sure, but that was 5.5 hours that went into 11:30 at night, ending up at a bar with their missus. Yeah, But that was on a bar bus. I streamed that. I think I was tethering to the Thai phone as well for the signal.
Usually, the ones I really stood out for me that I remember were always sort of late at night, and I think even one night, you might remember this one. You were with your lady, and you were both sitting out by the pool in deck chairs.
Yeah, that's right. We did that a few times. Yeah, we did that. That's right. Because that gave me the idea to do a Cocoon video.
Yeah, so
it was a very Thai.
it was laid back.
Yeah.
Very. What do they say over there?
Sabai.
Sabai.
Yeah.
I mean,
chilling out around the pool. Mickey loved that pool.
Yeah,
we would just lie there in the evening and chill out, and all going up to the room. The room was 2 flights of stairs up, and I couldn't handle the thought of the walk up there as well. I think, and Mickey would be with us sometimes there as well, and during the day.
I don't know how you got away with some of the stuff. I remember on a couple of videos there, you had one of the girls up there pole dancing, and you filmed that. And
sometimes I don't ask. I just say, "This is what I'm going to do. Is that all right?" Sort of like telling them, but with a little bit of a question thrown in at the end. And where we did that, which was very well received, and that's Lisa Bar. It's an open bar. It's a coyote bar on Second Road. We was there 2 or 3 times filming in them, and the man, the same lady there, she had no problem at all. Yeah, no problem, can film. Great. Of course, I stuck that down on a little tripod, usually with my phone, quick zoom, right up to the pole dancers, and that's Lisa Bar. They're very good to us in there.
He's open.
We did a Hey Fatty Bum Bum video, because there was the first video we ever did. I was quite taken back because they had quite, in comparison to the figure of the lady form in Thailand, they were quite somewhat appreciative of the fuller figure, the woman. And she was a lovely lady, and we interviewed her. I've never published the interview, actually, because I've yet to edit it. But this lovely lady that was dancing in the Hey Fatty Bum Bum video, she was talking to us with a lady drink afterwards, and talking a lot of Thai, saying how it is and why she's there, etc. I was interested.
See, they're the ones you need to put up, mate. That'd be.
I know. I knew back then that no one was doing these, and I know some people are jumping on that now and doing more of these interviewing style. I knew the demand was there, and the couple that I did, I thought, well, this is what I want to do more of, and that was the plan. But things went a bit skew last year, and some people have taken up the baton and done more of those. I was speaking to Tichi Tai, the Asian chap. I said, you're going to be big because you're doing this, you're Thai, and you're doing it with Thais. You're asking the pertinent questions, about Sim Sod and things like that. I said, we should hook up, and I know Robin Thailand has hooked up with him already now. He's grown from when I first saw him with a few dozen subscribers to thousands already in just 12 months. And I knew that would be big, because people want to see the true Thailand, but in a different way. And we can still do that. My intent is to have people that work in these establishments that people like to frequent, one-to-one interviews. And I've got one that I've yet to publish, where the Manasan and the 3 bar girls all took me to a Thai nightclub and paid for the lot.
Wow.
I've got that to publish yet as well. I've got the footage of that. And they were happy for me to film. And that was a really interesting, enjoyable night. They were just, I was sharing 2 bottles of blend, 185 or 285 or whatever it's called with them. And they're buying me flowers, the necklace flowers and whatnot. And I was like a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
they're getting me smashed. They were putting all the food on just because, they wanted, I don't know, maybe they wanted a a taste of Thai-tastic with them for the night because we always used to have a laugh, you know, when we went to the bar with them. And yeah.
So that's the stuff.
Because this was after hours as well, you know, when the bar closed between 12 and 2 a.m. So, and then we went off to this Thai nightclub until 4:30 in the morning with them.
See, people don't see that part of the Thai girls. They're always seeing the so say the other side of things where they're just putting their hand out and
yeah,
and it's a shame.
And judging them on that.
Exactly.
Judging them as a conning tool, only in it for themselves and their family, and maybe. And of course, that's not everybody, but at the end of the day, they're human and they're competing with everybody.
Well,
to survive, because this ridiculous one of the ladies that we frequent with, and she's on a number of the videos, a bar was sold. The new owner put her on 2,500 baht a month wages.
Shit.
And then she just had the share of the lady drink money.
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in there working almost at a level where you're in there with the workers and you're talking to them on a Thai level, and you've got that rapport with them where they are your friends and you're not a customer, which, you know, people will never get that if they're just there on a 2-week holiday or a few days stint in that town or whatever. It's difficult for them to get that relationship with them. You learn a lot, you know, when you're hearing stories of some ladies, you know, that have just been dropped off by their family to work there because they saw the attraction of their daughter working in a tourist area, and I just dropped off in a farmer's pickup truck, and they've only got 20 baht to live on a day.
Oh shit!
So the girls are all like and helping each other out. So she's got like 100 baht for the day between them. So she's got, you know, something more than just a piece of rice to eat or whatever, you know, until she gets paid.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's it's sad that we tend to forget that if you don't work over there, if you're not doing something, you're not going to eat. It's not like the Western countries where you have some sort of welfare system to fall back on. They got nothing. Yeah. If they're not doing something, they're not eating, and then, you know.
And you can't, you know, don't get me wrong, but you will never go without food. But of course, there's that, let's say credibility. That's not the word I'm looking for, but where you want to have a job, you want to have your own money, and you want to buy your own food. You know, all these places that you see where they put out food for my Buddha every day and drinks, etc. You know, anybody can take that and have it for themselves. And you do see that Thai people that are down on their luck, or they've got mental illness or whatever, and they're roaming the streets because they've got one arm and they're begging or whatever. They will eat that food off if they're hungry, and there's no problem with that at all. The other side of things, yeah, you know.
I think we get a distorted view from some of the blogs that we do, and yeah, there's a guy Sentai7 who, you know, he gets a bit of criticism here and there, and he made a good comment when he says, "What you see is just a small window into his life and what it's like there." You know, and that's so true. It is only a small window.
Very small window. It's like if you saw a set of 80 splitted blinds, and you're just pushing them open a little bit and peeking through. That would be a good for analogy to think about. Yeah, it's just peeking through a set of blinds that you're just able to squeeze open a little bit and look into someone else's world, and you don't see the smell, taste, whatever.
So we're not. It's very rarely you see a true, the actual reality of what it is like over there for the general population. Jedi just said, I was just in. See, there's a guy called Fazio. I think his channel is Hoodwinked by an Angel. He's a Philippines channel, I was just in Fazio's channel for 10 minutes checking. He has $500 in super chats today.
Uh,
Jesus. Yeah. It's just Jedi saying we need to give up work and go on YouTube for super chats.
yeah, well, understand what his formula is. You know, it could just be one or two guys doing that. Absolutely. I know Kevin the other week was gifted 300 pounds or dollars in
Wow.
10 minutes from one person.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen some crazy ones, but Michael Fazio he's a tripper. I mean, it seems like I don't watch him, but
What?
he's a tripper. You know, like a bit of a mental case.
Oh,
I only say that because from what I've heard, he believes in the flat Earth, and but
you don't?
he believes in flat Earth. You've
I
never
said,
heard?
and you don't?
Sorry.
I'm kidding. I
Oh.
said, and you don't. I'm just pulling your chain.
But yeah, if you ever want to watch it, it's Hoodwinked by an Angel.
Yeah.
He's an older guy from the US who lives in the Philippines with a young Philippines girl, and yeah, he's a bit of a tripper, and a lot of people like watching him. He's entertaining, from what I
Oh,
hear.
okay.
But obviously, in the last 10 minutes, he just made $500.
Yeah. Yeah, that's paid the rent for 6 months.
Yeah, in the Philippines, it's cheap as.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to some guys about this recently. An Australian guy just come back from, I think, just over 3 months of like an experiment to live there, and his version was that you can live cheap if you want, but if you want to live like a Westerner over there and eat Western food all the time and enjoy your bottles of wine and all the rest, he said it'll cost you just as much as living in Australia.
Oh, yeah. The wine hasn't really come down in price yet at all. You know.
Well, things like he said that you take for granted, wine and cheese, two things he really liked, and
Yeah.
they're imported there,
Yeah.
so expensive as.
I think, but you can accommodate that quite easily by knowing the amount of things. If you got to take the whole thing as the bigger picture, right? Like I did, I was helping somebody out do a couple of videos on using spreadsheets, how to use the spreadsheet, basic formulas, and calculate everything right down to how much they spent on the pill for their girlfriend, the condoms, to food and water. You know, what would they spend right down to their bills, etc. for the month. And it's interesting when you compare like for like, the overall picture. It's far cheaper. It doesn't then matter whether or not you have your favourite Rioja wine from Spain and imported. If your favourite cheese is Edam or whatever, it's from Holland or whatever, because the savings that you made on the other things, you have those luxuries. It still far outweighs it, in my opinion. That's retirement in Barcelona.
Jedi was just saying about Fazio. He's pretty funny and is actually very knowledgeable. He's doing something right. He has a very cute girl and making big super chats now. Good luck to him and all who persevere. Well, yeah, Jedi, I don't have a problem with it. You know, if someone is putting out content out there and people are enjoying it, who gives a shit what people give to them? I'm sick of this e-begging term because it's a joke. Because if I decide to give somebody money, that's my choice to do that. It's my money. I should be able to do what I like with it. You know, who's someone to criticise me or anybody over that? Good on them.
Only those that are jealous. Only those that are jealous.
I think so. I definitely do think there's definitely some envy and jealousy involved.
Yeah.
But you know, if someone's putting out good content and you're enjoying it,
they cancelled their cable subscription because they're getting a better laugh off of YouTube. Who's for us to say where they spend their money?
I know some guys are scammers, and you soon work out who they are. But there's people out there who are putting a lot of effort into giving people some quality content. You know.
Yeah. So I need to hire I need to hire another. I need a mascot, don't I? Really.
You need to find a niche market and
If I was treating it as a business.
yeah, like look at Simon. His niche is, I guess, the fact that he's a great storyteller and he tells all those stories. People love hearing that. I know that his live streams are pretty popular as well now.
I did tell him ages ago, you've got to get those Thai ladies in your village on your streams.
Okay.
He did it. I know it would be working wonders for him. Now he's getting them slowly to make movies as well, which is the next step. So fair play to him. They've already started recording their own footage, Noi and Raya. Yeah. In fact, that's absolutely diversifying. You can have several channels then. So you're not giving people a choice of what channel to watch, yes or no, to my content, because I've got 3. Make a choice which one you want to watch. I benefit from any of them.
Yeah.
So it's the way to go. Definitely. If you wanted to treat it more as a business, Simon's a very good businessman, and he's got a number of. He's got more pies than fingers.
I think if you approach it like because for some people it's a hobby and they love doing it. Other people it becomes a chore, and you can tell in their content that it becomes a chore. I think if you can do it and you're not treating it like a business, but you're treating it like your hobby, and I think you do a lot better.
Yeah.
That shows,
and then you got to think about when you say you could do a lot better, is that in terms of being satisfied with what you do as a creator, or you can do much better in terms of monetary gain as a business?
Here we go. This is probably the guy you were talking about before, Mr. TT. Jedi just said that Marco guy from Overstay Road was staying in a $28 a month shack. Now he's living in hotels and nice apartments, all from donations on YouTube. Laugh out loud. Well, if you can do it, why not? Obviously people like watching the guy.
That's where he chooses to reinvest his money, is because it's getting him growing his channel and he's having a better lifestyle. Then that's his job, right? People, the thing about, I guess, is people have got, like you said, people have the choice. No one's saying forcing anyone's hand here.
Exactly.
And if you do it with an ounce of credibility, but sincerity, I think is the biggest word. And when you're creating this publication, especially if you're on camera, or your subjects are on camera, and it's not contrived, which some people won't see anyway. But then it doesn't matter even if it is. I guess in some people's eyes, it doesn't matter as long as they're being entertained and they want to, as you say, reward somebody for entertaining them. It's a partnership.
Yeah. Have you got access to the chat at all?
I'm not looking at the chat now. I'm working.
Because Jedi just mentioned a guy, and I wouldn't mind Jedi putting the link to this guy's channel because he's a new guy on the scene. He's Australian, and he's just come back from the Philippines, and his videos are big. He's bit of a playboy, doesn't mind throwing the cash around, and he's just really happy-go-lucky, good guy. He'd be worth watching.
Oh, I'm happy to over onto that tab where your chat is and bookmark it. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do some live channel reviews now.
Hang on, Jedi. If you got Benny the Max link, yeah, Lefty or Jedi. If you guys have got the link, can you put the link into his channel so Ty-tastic can go jump over and have a look at his channel?
I'm going to bring some more people into your channel. I'm going to post your link now to Facebook.
Oh God,
Who's out there?
We'll put more people to sleep.
No, positive mental attitude. Don't think like that.
Hang on, I'll do that, Jedi. I'll type it in and see if I can put the link up then. Let's have a look.
Getting more people to see. Wow.
I've got to get over and spend more time with some of the Thai vloggers. I mean, I still watch a lot of their stuff and that.
Have you want to read that book, or do you like audio or visual or reading?
Usually it's just paperbacks, you know, paper.
You
I'm
got
still
Kindle?
old-fashioned. I'm still old-fashioned. No, I don't have Kindle.
Right.
I'm old-fashioned, mate. I don't even have. I don't use
Yeah.
Facebook.
I don't know how to open a laptop from your box.
Yeah, I still got the new one there. I will. That's just me slack because then I've got to put in the password for the internet and all the passwords for all my accounts.
All those hurdles. Yeah.
I know, I'm
Crop
just
off,
slack.
yeah, it takes 3 days. It takes 3 days to get up and running on another computer. Download all the apps, download the programs, I know. Change over the licenses.
Oh, whoops! Not going to paste it in there. Hang on.
I need to put it on Twitter as well. I wrote that I'm live. Come join me.
I
I
just
won't put it on Instagram because I've got over two.
just try that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Try that link. I've just put the link in there. That should be to that Benny the Max channel. Well, let me have a look. I'll just better check the link myself, make sure it's working. Yep, that's him.
Oh yeah, I've got him. Got a bit of goatee coming.
It's clean shaven in the ones I'm looking at here.
I like Daisy Keach, who he's following.
But I've watched a few of his videos. Yeah. Especially he did one in the strip club. He actually was throwing enough money around in the strip club that they let him film in there.
In Manila.
Yeah, I think Manila. I'm not sure what part of the Philippines he was in.
He's got a smiley face like Mickey Malmo. A lot of his thumbnails say that. I bet he comes across as a very positive attitude type of guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Jedi, I'm not sure what he does. He might have mentioned it before. I've only just started watching because of Randall put me on to put him on to me. That's where I first learned about him. And then I watched a couple of his videos, had a bit of a laugh. I mean, his girlfriend was drop dead gorgeous, and
I'll come straight there.
And her younger sister, mate, was like, my God, what a hot looking with big boobs. It was like, what the hell? You don't usually see that on the Filipinas. But yeah, he's back in Australia now, and he's been doing some live streams and that from there, that's cool too. But man, did he ran amok when he was in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Obviously had some money to throw around though.
Just enamoured by one of the ladies that was spinning for drinks apparently. Spinning the big wheel for every number she gets is depending on what drink she gets. Yeah, I put the volume down. I'm just looking at the iCam. Oh yeah, he's in a bar that sells Moët Chandon and 6-litre bottles of Grey Goose in a swimming pool that's actually built into the bar. Oh, amazing. Never seen that before. A swimming pool built into the bar inside the property. It's actually a Moët bar, champagne bar. There's all sorts of swimming pool they're playing ping pong for drinks. Yeah, it's good. I'll watch that later.
I'm trying to find the one where
I'll click subscribe. I'm hit 601st.
There's supposed to be one there. I've seen it where he went out for dinner with his girlfriend and the family. And
Would you believe it? The next one, suggested video, not his, but somebody else's. It's by somebody called Flat Earth British Sub.
Not the Flat Earth.
I'm sure it's picking up our voice, but it's computers and suggesting things based on what it hears. Crafting. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not quite interested in watching anything about
Ah,
the
here it is.
theory of
Live.
fiction.
It's called Live Manila with New Mother-in-Law. And
Some of these videos.
I've got the
I
he's
do
sitting
search for these videos.
hang on, I'll put the link in there. I got the link. He's sitting there next to his
I've got
girlfriend.
it.
Oh, you got it?
She's holding a phone with a lover on it.
That's the younger sister, yeah.
I've got it. Yeah, Life Manila with New Mother-in-Law.
And actually, I'll give credit where credit's due. The guys, the staff there that are singing, man, they had great voices. They did a great job.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that. Usually the singing, when the Filipinos or the Thais are singing, it's more annoying than anything. But these
Yeah.
guys could really sing. I mean, really could. But yeah, the guy's got a beautiful girlfriend. Like I said, the sister's looks pretty hot too. So
Oh, that's not her girlfriend.
no, if you'll go along in the video and he'll turn around the camera to her every now and again.
Yeah, I've seen her. Yeah, I've seen her.
She's quite gorgeous too.
Yeah, she's attractive, isn't she?
But he's a new vlogger on the scene anyway. He's an Aussie guy. Obviously, he'll
She's
hopefully
from
go back there
Darwin.
and do more. Nah, he's up in Queensland at the moment, but I think he might be originally from where I am in Adelaide, South Australia. I know he did live here at one stage, so he did tell me that. But I think he's up in Queensland at the moment.
Oh, okay, I've subbed him.
But yeah, he seems to be one of those happy-go-lucky guys, and I've seen him throw big money actually. Hey Graham, how you doing? He threw a big Kev that's in here, the guy that was overstayed for 13 years. Benny has gone into his live streams and super chatted him some real decent figures too.
Mm.
Uh,
Twitter's quite raunchy, isn't it? I don't know. Obviously, I haven't got the restriction on of adult content. My goodness. I didn't realise Twitter was so, yeah, on a par with porn site. It's crazy.
yeah, Jedi just said, gorgeous girls are always around when the money's flowing. They ain't around long when you go bust.
Yeah.
That's true too, Jedi. It depends, I guess, what sort of girls you surround yourself with too.
Yeah, that's really the difficulty, isn't it? Getting to the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've seen it as much in Thailand, but definitely seen it in the Philippines, where you got a lot of expats over there who are living on the streets, mate, and begging for money. Cause,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
I hear that quite a bit about the Philippines. I don't think I've really heard that about Thailand as much. I don't think.
No, I've never seen it. I've heard of it a couple of times.
But it's a lot bigger thing in the Philippines. Jedi, that's Thai-tastic. He's got a channel. He travels to. He goes around the world, different places. But I met him because he's a Thailand vlogger. He used to do live streams from John TM in the bars there, and that's where I met Thai-tastic. And really good editor. He puts a lot of effort into the videos he puts up. He did post something a little bit further up if you want to go check out his channel. Yeah.
Crystal, you've seen him on Kev's channel?
Yeah, she's talking about Benny the Mac.
Oh.
Yeah, he does go on Big Kev's channel. I've seen him on there. I've talked to him, just said hello to him on his live streams. That's where I found out that when he told me he lived in Glenelg in Adelaide. So Oh, where he's from originally? He's UK, and I believe he's in Wales at the moment. So I'm not sure what part of UK he was born in. Jedi, Mr. TT, is a Scotsman living in California,
Oh, okay.
which is
That's a different
why he'd be
area of the
interested.
world. Yeah.
So that's why he's
I've,
probably interested where you're from originally.
yeah, from the Garden of England, which lost its title to Yorkshire. So that was Kent in England. But since I was 4, I've been travelling since I was 4. So I've been a few places. I lived in Germany for 2 years as well. Yeah. And, gave up the day job about 21 years ago and did more travelling and haven't stopped really. So I'm pit stopping again, either here or I've got family in Canada as well. So
I
it's
remember
funny you're
actually.
talking about Scotland.
I remember I think when you left Thailand, you went to Canada, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I spent nearly
Yeah, I
2 months
followed you
there.
through. Yeah, I followed you to that point. Then you got a bit quiet after that.
Yeah, had to take stock of things.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, there's no schedule really with my channel, and that's one of the things. If one was to treat it more as sort of business
okay,
or community focused thing, then one should really do things on a regular basis so you can meet.
you got a question
Your
here
friends.
from Jedi.
Oh,
He's asking you, how long have you been out the UK?
oh, crikey! Well, we've when I was about 4.5 years of age, that's when we first left the UK as a family. And now my family's all over the world, and I've lived, worked, and been schooled in 2 or 3 different countries. So it's a long time. Yeah, I'm pushing that big 50. So
Yeah,
I'm
Jedi.
currently in
He's
the UK.
yep. He's in the UK at the moment, Jedi.
Yeah, and my work has taken me abroad as well. Whether it be when I was in the day job, I was working in Canada, and I've lived and worked in Koh Samui in Thailand back in '97 as well. So,
That's
yeah, I've been about a bit. I've got I'm a dive master for the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, so that can take me anywhere in the world I wish because we're in demand. But you can't really live. You can only live as a dive master. You can live and save and have something for the future if you was an instructor, but I never aspired to become a diving instructor, even though I've been taught to that level. Yeah, it would be fun.
yeah, we got a
You
guy.
forget sometimes how much you've done until you start sharing it.
We got a guy in Baguio, which is at the top of like the Philippines there, north. He's actually working on starting up a dive shop over there.
All right, yeah. So it's an awesome industry to be in. It really, what I found, one of the benefits of it was I was getting people traveling through me on their trips, and I met some wonderful people working on the dive boat in the Gulf of Thailand. Yeah, they're some fantastic people, isn't it?
Jedi just said, "Good luck to you. Best move you made was getting out of the UK, and mine too."
Yeah, I'm still currently a citizen, and I have a British passport. But yeah, who knows? I've got some interesting plans for this year, and yeah, it's exciting times. And come along for the ride. I shall be sharing it with you certainly on my channel, parts of it at least. So yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited about it. I don't sound it at the moment, and that's because it's 4:18 in the morning.
Oh, shit. Yeah, 2:47. I've been gone over 3 hours, so
Well done. Go for your record. Go for your record. I'm here with you.
yeah, that's true, Jedi. I
What's
think
your,
Gib might be getting into it too. I haven't heard Gib say it. I've only heard JW talk about it. Just talking about the guy that's getting into the dive business over there. He's ex-military.
oh, okay.
But it's like anything, you know, and I get warned about this all the time, either Thailand or the Philippines, you know, it's getting into a business is fraught with danger, you know, in these countries. Trying to start a business in these countries like Thailand or the Philippines,
Yeah.
you've got to be so careful, you know.
Well, there was like beheadings and things going on in East Timor back in the late 90s. You remember that, or early 90s?
Jesus.
Some sort of thing going on there. And I was like, you're kidding me, because what happened after we finished, I was then working in Auckland in New Zealand, and we heard of the guy that was training with us at the same time, the shop owner's nephew, in fact. He was learning to become an instructor, but at the time he was just going through his dive master training. He ended up opening up, I heard, on the grapevine, a shop in East Timor, and I thought, all the places. And it's obviously, yeah, he obviously done his market research, and Paddy really helped you with how to do that and with promotion, and that they very much encourage anybody that starts with any of the training to get to the highest level as possible and attain the position of ideally instructor, come area director, and have your own shop or shops within the country that you reside.
The thing is, you've got to remember, and this is what I keep getting told, is that you don't really have any rights as a foreigner in these countries. So it's not like you can really own land or
Well,
something outright. And
yeah, I wouldn't say you don't have rights, you do, but they're not obviously the same as maybe as if you would have being a citizen. For example, there are ways of owning property and land in Thailand, for example, just knowing how to do that, the legal way, and being aware of how to protect yourself in pursuit of it as well. So,
yeah, Jedi's just saying, yeah, the business is very risky in Thailand and Philippines. You'll be careful when you're competing with the locals. They're not always going to like that shit. You know, some foreigner coming in.
Look what happened to Simon Snooker Club.
Yeah.
They cottoned onto, oh yeah, there's money to be made in that. It's not something we've tried before. So suddenly in a small village, there's 3 snooker clubs.
Well, I've seen it when he was talking about he did the car washing too, but suddenly everyone else starts doing it around you.
Yeah.
So they kill the market off pretty quickly.
I don't know what happened. I've not heard any more about his budgerigard business. I don't know if he ever elaborated on that in any of his videos.
Yeah, he was talking about that one time. Yeah, I remember. I don't know. I think Simon's got he's got so many things. He's, like I said, probably got more pies than fingers. With Simon.
Sure.
I mean, I know Mem's got pretty sure a Facebook business there selling handbags and shit like that. Well, guys, we've got nearly 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Is it?
Yeah, so I might use what we've got left of the day and even go for a cruise in the car and maybe get something to eat. Should I just say they will kill you if you get into the rice business? Mark, that is real, bro. They will kill you. Kill you in the rice business. No kidding. Well, I guess if you're cutting their lunch, and I mean, from what I've seen, those poor guys, they don't make a lot of money farming rice. That's for sure. It's not going to make them millionaires, and it's pretty hard work.
Mm.
But yeah, guys,
Yeah.
Mr. TT, I might call it a day. I might,
No worries.
don't know if I'll get on tonight or not. Who knows? But I jump out in the car, I think, and maybe get myself something to eat. Belly's starting to come.
Simon's had a small stream sort of going on some days. A lot of people live streaming.
Oh, yeah, he does his streams on.
What time's that? That'll be, I think it's
Oh.
midday, 12, midday GMT for 2 hours.
I'm trying to think. I know it's usually later my time because we've got daylight savings at the moment. So there's a 2.5 hour difference between Thailand and the Philippines with Australia at the moment.
Where are we now? Yeah, so it's 7.5 hours time.
Yeah.
For you, mate.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head off. Definitely want to get myself something to eat. We'll take care. Thanks for joining me on the panel.
Yeah.
It's great to
welcome.
chat to you. Like I said, I can't wait for you to get back overseas and do those live streams again. Yeah, Jed, I always enjoy driving around in the car, and I'll enjoy it at the moment even more because I got petrol at a cheap price last week, so I filled it up. Driving a 5.7 litre, you tend to go through fuel pretty quickly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
You too, mate.
Everyone.
Take care. Bye, guys.